I'm going to go on to a segment which I'm going to call Higher or Lower Than Red Notice. So you have to guess the budget, whether it was higher or lower than Red Notice's $250 million budget.
I reckon it's just some part of elaborate money laundering scheme.
Yeah, it definitely is, mate. For aviation, gin and Terramana tequila. And I don't know what Gal Gadot sells.
She sells terrible fucking videos of celebrities singing Imagine.
Oh, well, nice, yeah.
Actually, no, she gave that away for free, so good on her.
Hello and welcome to Two Reels Podcasts. Today we are looking at The Amazing Spider-Man and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'm here with Joe Cassidy, and this is part of our Spider-Man month here on Two Reels Podcast, where we're talking about all of the iterations from the Raimi trilogy to the MCU, and then finally we'll be doing a No Way Home podcast on the 18th of December. I can't wait to talk about that film. Give us a follow on any social media you use, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us at Two Reels Podcast. Now let's get into it.
One of my worst experiences at the cinema was watching The Hangover 2 in like the first two rows. I think the second row. And I mean that's a terrible film, but you know I was still high on The Hangover. You know I really liked The Hangover when it came out.
Yeah,
and you know
everyone was.
Oh yeah, got caught up in the hype for Hangover 2. Went to see it, and I vividly remember when Chow like when he emerges. I just remember this guy. Vividly remember this guy went, Leslie Chow, like a couple of rows behind me. I remember turning around and like just I had to see who it was, and I remember he was weird. He had a girlfriend. This guy, well, it appeared to, it might have been his friend, his girl, but like he was definitely with him because he looked very embarrassed, as you should be. And I remember being like, how is that guy with someone? Like, what the actual fuck? And what did he expect from that? Everyone sort of turn around and high five him.
Yeah, they're just like, woo, you're right.
You've seen that first one.
Yeah. You identified him correctly. Woo!
Sweet croak, bruh.
Oh, God. Speaking of getting caught up in the hype.
Okay, yeah, nice.
I feel like that was my feeling when they rebooted Spider-Man into The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Poorly named.
I
feel like I should be asking for my money back.
Absolutely.
As it's
do you know what? I remember
factually incorrect at that time.
Massively. It seems like such a... Well, if we call it The Amazing Spider-Man, obviously it's like, well, you know, that's what the comic's called.
Yeah.
But like...
It's an upgrade.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a downgrade in every single way.
If like a Spider-Man film would come out in the 90s, right? And then this had come out in like 2000. Say like everything was just 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
This would be called Spider-Man Extreme.
What, the Tobey Maguire one would have been The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, or just Spider-Man. But then 2000, they'd have been like the early 2000s. I feel like just Extreme was put on things.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Either that, or they would have spelt Spider-Man with a Z instead of an S.
Spider-Man. Or Spider-Man's Adventure.
To be fair, that is what they should call the new Spider-Man. Like just Spider-Man's, possibly with a Z for cool. You know, for the cool factor. Z is an S.
Yeah.
That was my suggestion for the Blade Runner sequel, not 2049. Blade Runners.
Oh, nice.
Or Blade Runners, but with a 2 instead of an S. Even though that basically makes it Blade Runner 2.
Oh, basically. Oh, you pitched that to Ridley Scott and he just berated you for being a phone-using millennial?
Yeah.
Fucking cunt.
Who's like, you probably don't want to watch my very expensive film that doesn't have to sound very commercial. Well, no, it looks good, but like, oh, fuck off. You're on TikTok, aren't you? No, I'm not. Get out of here.
You're thinking of Gen Z.
It's not their fault. They were given these things by older people. That film wasn't marketed at teenagers, damn it. No teenagers like, oh, I'm definitely going to go watch that film about a medieval rape trial. Like, it's just, I mean, I'm sure it's good. It looks good. I want to see it, but just didn't get around to it. But like, you know, come on, man. It's not a commercial film.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? Okay. Yeah. I think it was marketed towards like, so young adults to like maybe like early 40s,
Yeah,
if anyone. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's actually really marketed well towards anyone.
no, I mean, I saw it. I saw the trailer like at the cinema before other films. Like, I think I saw it before Dune.
Also, if you've got Ben Affleck and Matt Damon playing two British people,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Well, that's the thing. I remember like
Adam Driver, I bet, can do quite convincing, but
yeah.
the
Or
other
at
two,
least
not
there's-
really.
I mean, even if he wasn't really doing like a Brit, I mean, maybe he's. Because I'm not sure they might even be playing French. And
But still trying to put on a British accent.
yeah, well, there's that thing of like people don't like. I mean, I don't really mind, but people seem to have an issue with like an American accent in like a pre colonization of America sort of setting. Whereas I kind of feel like if you're not speaking French or whatever the original language was, it's all right, it's fine, doesn't really matter. But like Adam Driver, there's something about him where he's just sort of he's unknowable, you know?
He's so fucking stoic.
Yeah,
isn't
stoic. He's very stoic, and he's sort of unique.
Yeah, he's very unique.
And like Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, they've both done like really good work.
Oh, 100%.
But like, I look at them and I don't think like they could be from anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I just think like very much like I know you were guys in the 90s, like yeah.
You've made some very bad films.
Yeah, but you've also
You made
made some
some really good stuff.
Yeah, I feel like
Some
Ben Affleck,
comedies, but
Yeah.
I don't think I'm putting you up for historic roles.
No,
You know, I know you don't have to leave it all to the British,
Yeah.
but you probably should.
But yeah, like I remember I saw that quote of like, oh, they don't have attention spans in the bloody TikToks, and it was just like, come on, mate.
I've never seen a more boomer statement.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, maybe like something Terry Gilliam's come out with.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
It's closest in terms of like filmmaking.
Yeah.
You know, like Ridley Scott is actually ferociously out of touch.
Yeah.
He just will never admit it because he's Geordie.
Yeah, that's it.
He's just like, I'm never saying no, and I'm never saying I'm wrong.
One of my favourite things about him is how he like refuses to acknowledge there's any kind of weird sexual subtext in Alien,
Right, okay.
even though like the whole thing is about a guy dies because he's impregnated by a he is impregnated.
Basically face rape.
Yeah, face
Yeah.
rape by a vagina monster. Then a penis monster bursts out of
Yeah, I
his
know, right?
chest.
It's just, come on, mate. I know a lot of that was maybe not down to his personal design.
No, but he's still okayed.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
still filmed it.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be watching what's on screen.
Yeah.
And at no point was he scratching his head just like, maybe this is like a rape allegory, you know? That's you know, about like, masculinity being taken out, like the loss of control. And he was just like, nah, that's just space aliens.
It's just a space adventure, damn it.
Space aliens. And also, we'll have one scene where Ripley gets like half naked, so
Yeah.
balances out.
Yeah. Oh, Ridley, who do you want to design the aliens? H.R. Geiger, right. The guy who does all the kind of designs of like penis and vagina.
So
creatures
basically,
and stuff?
everything looks like a penis? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, it's not because I've got any weird sexual hang-ups.
Everything's black and veiny.
I feel like Amazing Spider-Man could be improved by...
Having xenomorphs.
Well, yeah. But like, you'd say that about most films.
Well, okay, you could say that about most films, but just not a Predator movie.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. Certainly not so many xenomorphs that there's like thousands of them running up like a pyramid,
Yeah,
and there's like 3 predators like blasting away.
yeah, I know. Just like nonchalant, they're just standing there.
Yeah,
They let the CGI do the rest of the work.
like any good filmmaker. Yeah, Amazing Spider-Man. I've always thought we were pretty tight, you and I, Liam. But like
What?
you assigned me Amazing Spider-Man.
I'm so sorry. It was literally just all that we had left.
No, I
Look, wait,
understand.
I said this in the one for the. I've said this in one of the other podcasts for Spider-Man. I was just like, I'm the one who had to watch it all.
Well, true, yeah.
Like,
And
there's-
also Sam has just for no real reason.
I give him no extra credit. He's done all this extracurricular activity. I know you're listening, Sam, but you don't get anything extra. I apologise. But yeah, I just God.
But I do like Sam was able to, I feel he was just sort of like when there's that thing of I don't think it really exists, but like sympathy pain when like guys when their wife is like going into labour, they sort of like feel like pain in their stomach.
Yeah.
I feel like Sam is just sort of sharing our pain.
Yes, I feel like
thank
you
you,
came
Sam.
on this painful, emotionless journey.
Yeah. At least you get a baby out of giving birth. What do we get out of this? Well, this podcast, I guess.
Yeah. So nothing. But basically, watching all of the content of Spider-Man from 2001 onwards.
Yeah.
So it wasn't as much of a slog as I thought it would be.
Right.
And I also watched like Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. I know he's only in it a little bit, but any excuse to watch those in 4K. Like honestly, it's they're all visually amazing. But you know. And then I got to the Amazing Spider-Man, which I did it a little bit all out of order,
right?
Like the podcasts, but this was just like 4 hours of just it was hard.
Yeah, like I think
I think it was about 5 hours between the both of them. No?
Oh yeah, no, they're both over 2 hours, needlessly.
Yeah. See, in the Sam Raimi trilogy podcast, I said how lean Spider-Man 1 is as a film. Like, there's no real guff. It's quite fast paced.
2's pretty lean as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
2's like really well structured.
1 and 2 are just like, and it's surprisingly so on a rewatch,
right?
Because you're like, obviously when you first watched these, I was like 10, 11, whatever. Yeah. You're just excited to see Spider-Man on screen.
As I famously said. When I first saw the trailer for Spider-Man, like I think it was just before I was like reading like film magazines and stuff. So really, when I saw the trailer for the first time, I didn't already like know the announced cast and stuff. So I was just like, what the fuck? And I remember I would have been 10, I guess, and like just remember saying to my dad like, oh, I think that's going to be my new favourite film.
You're just preemptively telling him, just like anything I want for Christmas, it's just got to be from that film.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was hardship. Yeah, Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, from the Raimi trilogy, it's surprisingly punchy. Like how quick and the scenes, they're just like what's necessary in the screen in the scene, and then they're like, oh, and we're on to the next one.
Yeah.
Whereas that does not happen in this.
No.
And it happens. It doesn't really happen in the MCU one either.
No, they are.
And that is a lot of it. There's a lot of it has MCU-itis, where it's just like a lot of the dialogue's just trying to set up a punchy quip.
Yeah.
I know Sam will say that Spider-Man's famous for, which he kind of is.
Oh no, he's the funny.
But in terms of the MCU, it's like there's all of that. There's all of that all over the movies.
Yeah. I feel like it suits Spider-Man better than some of the
100%. Yeah, definitely.
I do actually really like the way. So Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. Right, I think they're good. Not the third one, but it is remarkable. Do you know what I mean? It's a remarkable watch. Spider-Man. For the wrong reasons, but you know, it's there's entertainment to be had there.
Yeah. It's like that diagram where it's like, in terms of the entertainment value.
Yeah.
Even if it's on the low side, it's like it's good because of it's not good.
Yeah, it's very much like watching a car crash.
Remarkable because of its difficulties and its inconsistencies.
But you know, it's like an interesting mess. My favourite bit is possibly when James Franco is like done something to spite Spider-Man, and he's like eating pie in like a cafe.
Oh yeah.
And he looks over at Maguire, and he's like, heh. And this waitress is like, "How's your pie?" And he has a bite of it and goes, it's so good.
Yeah. He's like, I can actually picture his face. He's like looking up at her like, oh god. Like, he's got some pie in his mouth. Unlike that pie, Amazing Spider-Man is the complete opposite of how much James Franco likes that pie.
Yeah, it's
so bad. He's just like, he says that and he's just like melting.
What did you put in this?
How did you make it so bad?
No, but I ordered it because it said amazing pie on the menu.
I ordered it because it said amazing pie.
And right, so one thing that always irked me about the Sam Raimi ones was like, why has he only got one friend? And like, I know, like it was like Peter Parker. Those like the ones where he's in high school from the 60s. Like he is a creepy loner. Because like Stan Lee, like the Marvel method as they called it was the artist does the plots and the drawing, so basically does the whole thing, and then he wrote the dialogue.
Oh, okay.
And so like Steve Ditko has obviously drawn like Peter Parker as like a brooding sort of loner, like he's dressed like an old man even for the time.
I know, yeah,
and then
cardigan and shirt,
and like tie. And like Flash Thompson and that will be like, puny Parker, whatever. And you see like there's just this look of like rage on Peter Parker's face. You can think like, God, he's gonna snap and kill them all. But like because it's like Stan Lee sort of doing the dialogue is so sort of like, gee whiz, you know?
Yeah. It's a little bit like
adds that sort of innocence to it.
Yeah. And there's even though you say like Steve Ditko's drawings could be like so menacing, but like the thought bubble would just be like, I don't know, it'd just be like something like so mid, so soft.
Gosh, I wish they understood how
how cool, but he's like got like flames coming out of his eyes. Wish they could only know my hardship of losing my uncle last week, and just and he's just going absolutely like mental. It's like Rorschach.
Like Stan Lee was like, Steve, I love the art, but I can't have him cut up that dog.
Jesus. So dark.
Right, so it always irked me that Sam, and then here's the thing, right? In the 70s, I read some like 70s like paperbacks when I was younger. He has a group of friends. And like including Flash Thompson, he sort of like becomes his mate and sort of redeems himself. And I remember seeing this thing from like Stan Lee where he's like, I basically invented friends because like Peter Parker and his group of friends like hang out at like a coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the writers of Friends probably read that.
Well, here's the thing: they wouldn't, because they're not like bloody nerds like those paleontologists. Hey. Worst thing about Friends, stand by it. I'll never let that go. Watching Friends as an adult, right? It is absolute bullshit that you would just be like, you bloody nerd, to your mate who's a paleontologist, and not be like, that's really interesting.
Yeah, really interesting, and probably actually takes like beyond hard work.
Yeah,
like I know they make fun of him for not really being a doctor. The amount of studying he'd have to do is probably quite insane.
It's a well-earned PhD.
Yeah, isn't
it? They're terrible.
I know. Don't make fun of other people's jobs, like obviously because that's exactly what we're saying.
Yeah.
But also, I'd just be like, "Cool, can I have another coffee? Thanks."
Because
I didn't ask for you to chat back to me. I actually ordered a latte.
So Rachel, you've been sat here for quite a while now, and I am really thirsty. And not just for you, because Jennifer Aniston. Right, so it always irks me that he doesn't have any friends in the Spider-Man Sam Raimi movies besides like Harry Osborn. Not that like they have time to have loads of friends, as you say. It is good that it's lean.
Yeah,
but it's just like there's that bit in, is it Spider-Man 2 where he turns up and they have a surprise party and it's literally
4 people.
Yeah, and it's just sort of like, could they just have some extras?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Have some like students that are in his class.
Yeah,
I know.
And he just seemed, it just seems like such a small, lonely world in this big city.
Yeah.
And then,
he lives, visibly lives by himself, and from like Spider-Man 2 and 3, he literally just, he doesn't even have a TV. He just looks out the window.
God,
I know he has the thing on because then he can change into his costume. And fight crime.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, when he doesn't do that, he still just sits on a chair by the window.
God, that's
bleak. It is so bleak.
What do you think he talks to Mary Jane about? So he's just sort of telling him about his auditions, and he's just like, The View was lovely today.
You've been watching The View on TV? No.
And then I like in the MCU how they give him this cast of friends. Right? Like, and they sort of work it,
there's like banter between them.
Yeah. It's done, it's like a nice watch.
Yeah.
In this, they just sort of, he doesn't even have Harry Osborn in this first one.
Nope.
just this weird, like,
absolute loner. I know that sounds like I'm having a go, but I'm like, it is genuinely hard for someone who, I mean, in this he is kind of portrayed as relatively normal.
Yeah, but
do you know what I mean? Like he doesn't he doesn't seclude himself.
No.
Like I know he does when Uncle Ben dies. Like it's kind of portrayed like, oh, he's cutting himself off. But like in the other introduction to the character, I guess, like when he is initially at the high school, you don't get the thing that like, oh, everyone dislikes him. Like no, it's just, I know he's just he's so like, he's such an odd character, but not like, oh, he's an oddball. It's odd because a lot of it doesn't make sense.
It's like they just forgot to write any dialogue with like friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like, doesn't seem to be a choice. It just seems like, I can't bother to give him like a supporting cast. You know, like he just like, there's a bit where he sticks up for some guy that like Flash is bullying.
Yeah.
And like there's no scene afterwards where anyone goes like, oh, that was cool. Like, oh yeah, wait, actually that's not true. Like Gren does. But yeah, that's the thing. Is like he's just all about this girl. To the extent where he's taking photos of her without her permission, and that's not cool. Also, in the second one, there's a bit where he admits to stalking her, and she reacts to it like he's just told her something really sexy, right? Or just sort of like she's just sort of like, oh, looks down at the floor like, God, this guy's great.
I can't believe I got the one.
Yeah, I just feel like, God, I really, and he's just sort of like, oh, I have been stalking you, yeah, like sort of just sort of owns it. And I just really hope there wasn't some naive little incel out there who's like, yeah, that's how you do it.
With the so I'm going to go on to a segment which I'm going to call higher or lower than Red Notice. So you have to guess the budget, whether it was higher or lower. Then Red Notice is $250 million budget. Because it's so ridiculous.
Where it's all up on the screen. You mean the so I'm guessing, right, for Red Notice, I reckon from that, right, 75 million each to the big stars, and then 25 million for everything else. And like
from like so the
so like 250 million, right?
Yep.
So it's quarter of a bill.
Yeah. When you say it like that, it makes it even worse. Yeah. I don't know why.
So I reckon, right, just because I can't see how that film cost that much, but then you've got to think like those three are like three massive stars. I reckon they got 75 million each.
God, that's so fucking much.
Actually, no, because that would be reported
ridiculous.
About. Yeah, that's not true. I'll take everything back what I just said. I reckon it's just some part of elaborate money laundering scheme.
Yeah, it definitely is, mate. For aviation, gin, and Terramana tequila. And I don't know what Gal Gadot sells.
She sells terrible fucking videos of celebrities singing Imagine.
Oh, well, nice, yeah.
Actually, no, she gave that away for free, so good on her. I don't know what she's selling, but she could do with buying some acting lessons, am I right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Shoot from the hip today.
No, I take it back. Right, so I'm going to say 250 mil. It shouldn't be.
If this helps, the box office was 758 million.
I reckon it's lower by like 10 mil.
It's actually lower by 20 million. Amazing Spider-Man costs $230 million US.
Right.
Yeah. And that's insane because the amount of CGI and special effects shots you need for a Spider-Man movie is a lot more than you do for just a movie where The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot are on screen the whole time.
Yeah. How much money did they spend making Cleopatra's eggs?
I think they did it like for realsies. Like they actually got the real, because in the movie they're 300 million. Like that's how much the whole collection's worth. And they were just like, well, first of all, we'll spend half of the budget on an expedition to get the real eggs.
I'm pretty sure we just made that up for the film. No, they're out there.
No, they're out there. And then like they spent $150 million, and then they gave up because it's not actually true.
No,
but they'd already spent the money. So That's why it went up from 200 million to 250 million.
That's
It's like, we need 50 million to save this goddamn movie. Because we spent 150 million on, 3 separate expeditions taking movie stars around the world trying to find 3 gold eggs that don't exist. That would have been an even better movie, if I'm being honest.
They're out here somewhere, damn it. Pass me that map. This is a copy of the script. Pass me that map.
Oh god, you just have to be a yes man to The Rock. Like, you just can't. How could you say no?
He's to be fair though, he's got that charisma. I reckon, like, after spending a few minutes with him, you'd be like, I don't know, maybe those eggs are out there. Maybe Dwayne will lead us right. He'll find the eggs.
And Amazing Spider-Man 2, do you think it was higher or lower than Red Notice?
It's such a mess that I reckon it's got a crazy budget.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say higher.
Yeah, it's the latest estimate is $293 million.
Jesus Christ.
And the box office made 709.
Right.
So less than the previous outing.
Yeah, which is why they...
For good reason.
Yeah, which is why they made that deal with Marvel.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
It's so weird that, like, Andrew Garfield is apparently back for this new one.
Mm.
Just because... no offence to Andrew Garfield, but, like, I mean, offence to these films. But, like, it just seems weird to be like, oh, yeah, bringing this back. The reason that we have this Tom Holland one.
It seems just so kind of like... Wow, this is awkward.
Yeah.
Like if they really knew the truth. I said this before. I do feel sorry for Andrew Garfield in more ways than one.
Right.
Main reason being, like, it was his dream to be Spider-Man, and for within 4 years have the rug pulled. I know what you might think. You might be like, well, these movies are terrible, but
they're not really his. They're not his fault though.
No, that's what I was going to say. They're not his fault, but also, say you heard the news that, like, Spider-Man's going to be in the MCU, which was like a huge deal at the time.
Yeah.
And then being Andrew Garfield, it must have been, like, heartbreaking. I think he's already spoken about it quite recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see why, like, if they were, like, around the table for, like, No Way Home, they were like, do you know what we should do? We should bring back Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then everyone's looking around, and then all you can hear is, like, the ticking clock. It's and they're like, all right, we'll bring back Andrew as well. And it's just kind of like, yeah, we should, just go on. Like, they feel a bit of sympathy,
No, Andrew, we want you here. We're inviting you because we want you here.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't matter that you've got the lowest Metacritic score. It doesn't matter that it didn't make much money compared to how much it cost. No, that's not. All right, don't ask Kevin why. Don't ask why Kevin. Don't ask Kevin why. Like, the whole time on set, it's like, so why didn't you want me to play Spider-Man? It's like,
well, you're just so. I don't know, like, well, we didn't realise you wanted to. You're just such a cool guy, We just figured, like, you wouldn't want to be hanging out with nerds like us.
Also, to shut up, here's another bag of money.
Oh, you're right. This does make everything better.
And he's famously come out and said, like, he thinks that his character would have a problem with how buddy Spider-Man and Iron Man are, because he's a billionaire. And I'm just like, I'm pretty sure you may have taken this for a payday, bro. Like, don't.
Also, I don't know. Like, nothing about this. Nothing about the Amazing Spider-Man films. Amazing Spider-Man. These films.
Yeah.
Nothing screams like angry socialists.
Yeah. That's just bleeding in from the actual actor.
Yeah. He's trying to say, like, I've got a problem with how this film glamorizes billionaires. But, like, I'm going to pretend I'm speaking about my character.
Yeah.
And, fair play.
Yeah, Peter Parker. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot his name.
Peter Smash the System Parker. I mean, his Peter Parker is very quick to, like, become friends with a billionaire in the second one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's proper like, oh, he's back in town, is he? Oh, my best friend. His dad's dead. Oh, my best friend. You haven't seen him since you were 10. We're dead close with him.
Buddies. Yeah, that is the biggest gripe, which I said out loud when watching the second one on a rewatch.
Yeah.
I was like, best friends haven't seen each other since you're like 9-10 years old.
Yeah.
You are now 18.
Yeah.
That's like half your life.
Yeah.
I know it's if you were that close, you know, you can form a bond that is like that.
Yeah.
But also, it'd be very hard to then just go back to it.
Yeah, and they instantly start referring to each other as their best friends.
Yeah, and I'm just like, well, that's no.
I remember calling bullshit on that at the time. I mean,
also, you have just made a great point. Like, his character is friends with a billionaire.
Yeah, and best friends, and also like, so how he becomes Spider-Man is by like sneaking into Oscorp, and at no point is like Oscorp, the company that my former best friend's dad owns.
Yeah,
and like is named after.
Yeah.
No, I think we mentioned this a few times. Maybe just in conversation, don't know if it's on the podcast, but why are companies in films are always named like after the person that founded it? And it's not that common.
It's not common at all, because it does just put off investors investing.
Yeah,
because it's just like, well, we could never move away from an image of someone.
Yeah,
because could you imagine if like Tesla or SpaceX, or if they were the same company?
Yeah. Musk.
They were just called Musk.
Musk Corp.
Honestly, their stocks would be going down every day for the tweets that cunt sends out. Like, they'd be the
All right, Andrew Garfield over here. I massively agree. I'm just trying to hold back my opinions.
Yeah. The investors and the board members and anyone who works for that company would just be a sweating mess, like all day, every day. Like,
I mean, they might be anyway.
I know. Like, yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm sure they're raking it in, but just like, I mean, they'd probably have to be on conference calls with that guy.
Yeah,
that can't be pleasant.
No, and I think they'd just be worried that, like, I know that they are pretty much, you know, they are kind of worried on what Elon does sometimes on Twitter, but this is even more so, where it would just be like, oh my god, like it's called Oscorp, and the guy is like decaying.
Yeah, he's got claws,
and also like in the public's eye in these movies, Norman Osborn, I think he's just missing.
Yeah,
but he's like not. Do you know what I mean? Like, like it's very secretive and like where his whereabouts are. And I'm just like, imagine having like $1 billion company, and everyone's just like, where is he? Like, and he's just like, oh, he's ill. He's been ill for 7 years. Like, I think he's dead, and they're just like, shut up.
He's not dead. He's just green and stuff.
He's just very sickly on his deathbed. It's like, is he going to give up control of the company because of this? No, he's not. No, he's not going to give it to his son or any board members. No.
Oh, I'll tell you what would be really annoying in the second one, right? There's a guy who, like, so when Norman Osborn dies and Harry gets the company.
Oh yeah.
18-year-old Harry Osborn, like, he gets the company, and he's like an 18-year-old, right? Fucking bullshit. Like, a company,
yeah.
It's supposed to be like the biggest company in the world, and it'd be publicly traded. Like,
I know. Yeah,
it's nonsense that he could just like bequeath it to his son.
My name's on the goddamn building. It's like, that's just not how it works.
There's a big hologram of a shadowy version of my face because I wasn't cast yet.
Yeah, no,
just in the lobby.
So rubbish.
It's so bad. And like, I guess so. Peter Parker's there, being like, "Oh, look, there's a shadowy hologram of my former best friend's dad."
Can't quite make out his face. To be fair, I've forgotten what he looks like. He's been missing for 7 years, and that's totally normal. God, there's so many like rubbishness on this. This was just like, especially. See, both I believe are quite reactionary movies. One, the original Amazing Spider-Man is reactionary because they were just like, we're doing nothing with Spider-Man, like this IP that we own that could just make millions of dollars, and then they're just like, and then it's like that meme where you could just you just see like what's in like the rear view mirror, and it's like the MCU and like Marvel wanting the rights back, and they're just like sweating. Just
Kevin Feige's like baseball cap.
Like a boomerang coming through the back windshields.
You will give us those rights, Sony. It will happen.
And then they're just like, okay, we've got to do something with Spider-Man. And then even the Amazing Spider-Man 2 was a reaction to the MCU again. But the fact that they now knew that they wanted to do loads of interconnected movies,
Yeah.
and that it was actually working for
Yeah.
Marvel at that point.
Yeah.
And
Because I think it came out like a year or two after Avengers, when like Avengers just sort of was so huge when it came
yes, I think it was 2014.
out. Right, and Avengers was 2012?
Yeah, same as Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Oh, okay, right.
So yeah, I think it's just so they're both reactionary. They're
Yeah.
just, it's very it's just like something jolted them to action rather than them being like, we've got a really good idea for a Spider-Man movie or a Spider-Man reboot. And at the time, it did feel like that. I feel like we had enough knowledge to see that they were doing that. But also because it was Spider-Man and I was, still in my early 20s, I was still just like, yeah, give me another Spider-Man film.
Yeah, so I had like I was really sort of anti, I was like the third one, like I remember at the time I couldn't even sort of enjoy how sort of bizarre it is. And I remember sort of, I had mixed feelings because I was like, I think they should rate like 10 years.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe like the ins and outs of IP law, I'm not an expert on.
Yeah, me neither.
So like maybe they don't have that option to wait that long. But like I definitely sort of bought into it. Like I remember sort of, because they sort of sold it as like, oh, it's like a new take, and like remember they said how they're going to really sort of emphasize the fact he's like he's lost his parents and he's sort of like looking for like the truth of his parent, like what happened to his parents. I remember thinking like, oh, that could be an interesting angle. I was wrong, but I remember like thinking that.
Of course,
yeah. And then like the casting seemed so good.
Yeah.
And I remember liking this film when it came out, and I don't know why.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I just feel I don't know. I guess I was an idiot. I mean, when I look back on my early 20s, I often think, oh, you were an idiot. So maybe.
Could be that.
Yeah.
I too was just like.
Sorry, just want to clarify. Not that you're an idiot if you like this film. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. That's.
If someone likes this film.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
oh, listen to this podcast trashing it anyway, for a lark. And then I'm like, oh, I was an idiot. You're not an idiot. But like, I just don't agree with my younger self.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. I too was intrigued by the what they were going to do next with Spider-Man, because it'd be the first time in our lifetime, really, that something that major had a reboot.
Well, I mean, Batman. But like, we were kids.
That's true. Actually, yeah.
But like, still, it was. Yeah. No, I think.
No. Yeah, Batman was first. Sorry. Yeah, you were all right. That was just.
The thing is, like,
that was such a deviation from the last iteration.
Yeah, it felt so different.
Yeah, I wouldn't. It is a reboot in every aspect.
Yeah,
but this one, even when you compare them, is like, the script's different, but it's like it's
like they didn't have a take.
No, they didn't.
There's times where I feel like they've gone, let's go all in on like this is like a Christopher Nolan Spider-Man film, and like it's dark and it's gritty, and then there's times where it's like, oh no, that's not Spider-Man though, and I mean they're right, but like, and there's all these like basically every scene is like a different tone. It's
in this
first one, like Amazing Spider-Man, like absolute mess. I mean, fucking hell. So like the bit that really just stands out to me is like, this is terrible, is when he is first become Spider-Man. He's made the web shooters from his from the YouTube. What the fuck? That's actually something I remember as a kid being like, hang on, because even as a young kid I remember like liking the fact that Spider-Man was always sort of worrying about money. And it's kind of, I think maybe just some part of me knew that was going to be me, but like without the cool bit. But even as a kid, I remember being like, well, how can he make those web shooters and that? And
here's the thing, I was I agree with you. Like in the Raimi trilogy, I was like, it's good that he's like
organic web.
Yeah, no. I thought it was good that he is. It's hard for him to. He's not just got like a cushy life.
No,
he's very down on his luck, and he's money hard and stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like the one thing at the time, at least, that I was like, okay, is that it is more comic accurate that he has web shooters rather than it comes out of his body.
Yeah, I just feel like
It's quite a divisive thing, isn't it? Like, I feel
It
like
is.
some people are like, well, it makes sense that that would happen because he's given spider powers.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't he be given webs? It's quite a natural,
yeah.
like, extra power to have.
I mean, I think they went with web shooters in the comics because they were like, that's disgusting. And I mean, it is, but also like a bit of fun.
Yeah, and also it's just like, there we go, and it's explained.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, I did like, I still kind of do like that he made his own web shooters, but and the fact that it's a lot like trial and error, and but the whole money thing where it's just like, how did you get all? I know he steals like a shitload of it.
Does he?
I think he takes like the little things from Oscorp.
The actual web things.
Yeah.
Right. I thought you meant money for a sec.
No.
that would
He
be
is
a take.
basically Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2. It's shot scene for scene, but Spider-Man robs a bank.
Do you know what? If that was their take, where it's like, okay, in this one, Spider-Man is going to be like a thief.
Yeah.
I'd be like, that's cool.
Yeah. But I kind of liked that he made his own web shooters, but the way he went about it was just like,
I mean, the YouTube
I've just got
tutorial.
all of this technology and I know how to use it, and
And there's Aunt May stressing about how she's going to like
pay the
for my
bills.
college.
Yeah. Whereas you could make all of this technology.
But in the comics, I remember just being like, oh, come on. Where he put like a tracking device on someone. And it's like, A, he's got a tracking device. B, it was in the shape of a little spider.
Nice.
Like
Branding.
So what? So you're manufacturing that in your bedroom, in your aunt's house,
Yeah.
essentially your mum's house, and you also like gotta make sure it's on brand.
Yeah.
Which also for a tracking device, right?
Don't need it.
Yo, if someone finds a tracking device, you don't want them to instantly be like
Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I can tell.
like they would in comics. Like,
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
They don't really. I like the way in Batman. You know, they always get, for some reason, criminals always insist on going like, "It's the Bat."
Yeah.
It's like, just call him Batman.
It's the bat.
There we go. They might call him like Spidey or something.
Yeah, I know Spidey because like it shortens the name. But it's like Batman.
Yeah, the Bat.
And it's
Same amount of syllables.
yeah. So at the time, I quite liked that they went a different route with the web shooters. Again, more on brand with the comics. Even though I'm not like everything has to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that would just kind of be boring. Just read the comic.
Yeah.
But,
And there's a lot of time they change things for damn good reason.
Yeah.
Different mediums, isn't it?
Yep, definitely.
One thing I wish they had changed, right?
Is the whole film.
Yeah. But right, so I think something that really stands out as like really good in these films is Emma Stone.
Yep, Gwen Stacy.
Yeah, I think she's quality. Like her scenes are fun. I find her more engaging than Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. I mean, not in general. Like Kirsten Dunst and Emma Stone are both really good actors. But I just find like Gwen Stacy a lot more engaging in this than I do Mary Jane in those.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, obviously, no one can beat Bryce Dallas Howard as Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man 3. I mean, that character when she. Anyway, that character. Yeah, great.
I knew
great
you're
stuff.
going somewhere. When she
she
does she have a photo shoot?
yeah, and it's like in an office. Isn't it like a bit? It's a bit fetishy, actually.
Yes, yeah. Yes, kind of weird.
Yeah,
and
so
also
weird.
in that, like, not to go back to the Raimi trilogy too much, seeing as
Yeah.
we've already done that podcast. Sorry, and
That's
but
right.
The way that the crane,
Fine.
the way that the
It's fine.
don't take it personally. The way that the crane is like out of control, but only takes out the story above and below them. It's just so it makes sure that like the floor is like unstable on that particular floor,
Yeah.
so that that can like slide off. I'm just like, do you understand like you don't understand the physics, and you don't understand like the likelihood of that is just like into the quadrillions. Do you know what I mean? Like with a crane that's out of control.
Isn't that where it's like, oh, go on, give her a kiss?
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
No, that's I mean, that's in the movie, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like when he gets the key to the city for
Right.
saving her.
Yeah.
Because she's the
Police captain's daughter.
police captain's daughter.
Yeah.
Who's played by James Cromwell in
Yeah.
that. And unfortunately, here on the podcast, he's getting a bad rap
Is he?
because James Cromwelling is what we use as retroactive retconning Because, like in
of
Jurassic
course.
World,
Yeah.
it was me all along.
Oh, so they James Cromwell the fuck out of Amazing Spider-Man 2?
Yeah.
Oh. Must.
Where they, where they're just, if it's, I was in the shadow. Basically,
I was playing. I was in the shadows the
I
whole
was in
time.
you didn't see me 5 movies ago because I was
Yeah.
in the shadows the whole time.
I entered that room shortly after this exciting scene.
But exactly. Yes. So Christoph Waltz, Inspector.
Yeah.
Just like
I'm the architect of your pain.
I'm the architect of your downfall all along, James.
I gave the ideas to all the villains in the
Yeah,
last
no,
one.
oh, God, fuck me.
I hate that when it's like, those rings we found on all of their bodies. Like, don't do that, mate. Come on. No one watched that and was like, oh, that explains why there are previous James Bond films.
So he was the captain.
He's a good actor, damn it.
Oh yeah, he's lovely. Yeah, he's
especially in Babe.
great. Great Babe.
That'll do.
He's also a great villain.
Yeah, LA Confidential.
Love that.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been cool if he'd shot like Tobey Maguire the way he shoots Kevin Spacey in LA Confidential.
Oh fuck, that would have been great.
Spoilers for LA Confidential.
Oh, honestly, mate, that would be great. Doesn't he shoot and he falls into a fridge or something?
No, he's like they're just sort of like having a.
They're having a conversation in his house, aren't they?
Yeah, and he just like shoots him. It's like
he does.
Matter of fact, he's just sat there and he's like, and they recreate
Rolo Tomasi.
They recreate it in Minority Report, I believe.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
With like how Colin Farrell gets killed. Spoiler alert for Minority Report.
All of these films have been out for at least 20 years.
Yeah. Someone's just got like, they're like, I'm gonna have a good film night.
My to watch list.
Got Minority Report and LA Confidential lined up there.
My James Cromwell collection. Finally getting round to the movies of James Cromwell.
And of course there's that scene where Babe wins the competition. He says that, oh fuck, just this person just deleting all of them. What's the fucking point?
Fucking throwing their device, whatever they're listening to this on.
Probably
Anyway.
a bloody TikTok machine.
All right, really, Scott.
Sorry, one thing that links the Jurassic World films to this.
Oh, go on. Yeah, Bryce has that.
So Hodgson. We got Hodgson here.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
his
go
name, right?
yeah.
Hodgson, the guy in the
Dodson. Yeah,
Dodson.
Wayne Knight.
No.
Oh yeah, he's the
Wayne Knight.
I know. He's the one who says that though, isn't he?
Yeah. The guy who meets with Wayne Knight.
Yeah.
He's coming back for the new Jurassic World. That character, but he's been recast as the guy who plays Peter Parker's dad.
That is a stretch.
Yeah,
that's very well done.
Thank you.
But fuck me, that's like I'm more like, oh my god, I can't believe they're bringing back that character for Jurassic Worlds.
Yeah.
Also watched the not to get well off topic.
Yeah.
We were slightly straying, but
yeah.
I watched the opening scene that they posted.
All right.
No.
Okay. I mean, I full disclosure, I really dislike the Jurassic World films.
Yeah, same.
So,
I mean, we famously started the podcast to absolutely slate them.
Yeah.
I mean, good things done for all the wrong reasons. Do you know what I mean?
This is a podcast powered by spite.
Yeah, I know, right?
But yeah, what?
Yeah, sorry. The first the first half of the opening scene is just a better CGI upgraded version of Walking with Dinosaurs because it's set 65 million years ago.
Okay.
Absolutely no point to it.
Right.
Then just a T-Rex crashes through into a drive-in movie theatre. Drive-ins don't exist, man. Like this.
You get one-offs.
You do get one-offs, right? But this is a trope that is becoming more prevalent, I feel, and it's like classic things that used to happen or used to exist, being inserted into movies from 2021.
All right.
So it feels like very out of place. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know.
Oh yeah, I can't think of like other examples.
It's just like there are where it's like it'll be like like those types of diners.
Yeah.
They don't exist anymore. It's very hard to find them, but they're in loads of movies.
They do look good though.
They do look good.
Yeah.
But it's like a screenwriter who's just like, I've seen this in movies from the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, when they were more prevalent.
Yeah.
Or from like classic films.
Yeah.
And they're like, I need that in my movie. But it's set in the present day, and things like this don't exist. Okay. But I'll still do it.
Yeah.
The worst, the most egregious would be if someone was using a pager.
Oh yeah.
If ever that was to happen, I was just like, I don't know what year you think this is, but this isn't like the 90s, like late 80s.
And you know, if you want to use those things, make it a period piece.
I know, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If they somehow, right, I'm not giving them this idea for free.
Yeah.
But if dinosaurs travelled back in time to the 50s. We had
now we've got a movie.
Jurassic Park fucking Back to the Future crossover. Unfortunately, both of these are owned by Universal.
Oh god.
What have I done?
No!
Yeah, so, you know, and then they had the scene where the T-Rex attacks a drive-in movie theatre.
Yeah.
I'd be like, makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
And none of this was it's visually impressive because it always is. Like they always upgrade the visuals. Like they always look a little bit better. But like what was happening in the scene, I wasn't like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this film, because we've seen it tons of times. And we saw it in '97. Lost World.
Oh yeah, when he comes to San Diego.
So
god, and they play it for laughs pretty much.
And you know, loads of comments are like, oh, it looks great, can't wait. I'm just like, but you've already seen it.
Yeah.
Oh,
and also, I've already seen like a drive-in get attacked in Twister.
Oh yeah. Drive-ins get a lot of hate.
Especially, why does anyone go to them?
The only one that doesn't end in destruction is when Marty goes back in time, Back to the Future 3.
Oh yeah.
But then again, actually, the fire coming out of the tires when he travels back to the Wild West probably burn it down.
Yeah,
so it's just like we just don't see that bit.
12 die and
Doc Brown only gets away by clambering over their corpses. Do you know what I mean?
I just kept running, Marty. I didn't care who was underneath me.
So dark. Anyway, what's not developed by Universal and soon to be ruined, because it was already ruined,
right,
is the Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
So the casting was like good.
Yeah. I remember when Martin Sheen got announced.
Yeah.
Uncle Ben, I was like, what I should have thought was, do we need to see that old man die again?
I know.
But like what I thought was, that's really good casting.
Yeah.
And oh man, that line.
They butcher it.
Yeah. And here's the thing, don't include it.
No.
Don't need it again.
No. Don't need it again.
Yeah.
Don't try and rewrite it.
No.
Just don't have it.
Yeah. It's so bad.
You can learn that lesson without you audibly saying it as well. You can just do it through actions.
And what he says is mental. He goes like, your father lived by like a code. And it was that if you have the ability to help someone, like you have the moral obligation to do so. And it's just sort of like, come again?
Yeah, no. It's like,
so what? Like, be good.
Repeat that for people who speak English or understand lingo.
And it's just like, okay, so you want me to just like help everyone I can?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, why do you know I have superpowers? Is this what you know? Don't you? Just tell me.
Yeah. Dennis Leary as Captain Stacy.
Yeah.
Is very much like, I know he's supposed to be straight laced.
Yeah.
But like it is borderline kind of like your stereotypical police captain. He doesn't waver from anywhere from the line. What
really annoys me is just how determined he is to bring Spider-Man down. Is so sort of like, why?
Yeah.
And I think there's a bit in the end, like during the sort of like lizard apocalypse that's going down, where they're sort of like, we've seen Spider-Man. He's like, Spider-Man?
Yeah.
It's like, mate, you've got more pressing issues. Like,
read the room.
Yeah.
Read the city.
Yeah, like you're gonna turn into a lizard, mate. You and everyone you love.
It's so weird when you think about it. When he's just like, yeah, I'm just like, I am not, I don't know how the inner workings of the New York City Police Department are, but honestly, you've got more pressing issues than someone who is safely wrapping up your cases for you.
Yeah.
Kind of. I know vigilantism.
To be fair, though,
is a bad thing, really. But the
to be fair, there's that thing of where he's like, oh well, the reason that guy was on the street was because he was an informant. And he just
but not all of them.
No.
You might say, okay, that's a case. That's a case for not having a vigilante. That's fine.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just like, okay, but also you've got like people who are mass murderers out there.
There's got to be, there's bound to be a fucking serial killer. Or...
There must be in New York City. There must be hundreds of criminals that are worse than Spider-Man, who's a vigilante. Like the level of like crime that is like. There's a gulf there.
Yeah, massively.
And I'm just like, no, I don't think the chief of police, the captain of the NYPD would be like tip top of my list.
Yep.
I can understand why.
Why have you pulled all those officers from the like sex crime division?
Yeah.
Well, someone's got to catch the Spider-Man.
Someone's got to catch the guy in the mask. They were trying to catch the guy in the mask. One who's doing all the sex crimes.
You mean Spider-Man's doing the sex crimes? No, he's not doing the sex crimes. But this is how it starts. They start by firing red things at carjackers, and then they become sex criminals.
That is one of the worst bits about this movie is Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man's hunt down for the killer of Uncle Ben. And then when it gets to the scene where he actually finds the guy, he's so...
Oh, I'm wacky.
So blasé, cracking jokes. I mean,
he shouldn't be that blasé.
Yeah, no,
That's another example of this film not knowing its tone.
Yeah.
So the.
Oh yeah. Sorry, it isn't him, but he's still still trying to look for this guy who killed his only father figure.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he's killed my dad, right? Gonna have some fun with it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Like
at first he's serious about it.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, at first he's just like he's going up to like gangs and like beating them up.
Yeah,
and then
that is a terrible scene.
But then it's like 2 or 3 scenes later.
Yeah,
and he is just like cracking jokes.
Yeah, cracking wise
about trying to hunt down his uncle's murderer.
Yeah. Oh, small knives, my only weakness. And then
it's terrible, isn't it?
Right, I think I was going to talk about this. I think I got distracted. Right, worst scene in the film for me. Walks in after this like comedy fight, right? Now bear in mind, Spider-Man, very super powered. They established that.
Yep.
No one's a match for him, right? In this, yeah? Normal person, not a problem. Dude's mad strong.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Comes in, right, late at night, and he's post Ben, and Aunt May is like, where have you been, Peter? And he's like, just go to bed, Aunt May. And she's like, look at me. It's like played like the most intense drama. He's like, just go to bed, Aunt May. And he turns around. She turns around, and like he's got bruises all over him.
Yeah.
And she just screams like, who's doing this to you? He's like, just go to bed. All right. How is he getting these bruises?
Yeah.
Right. And also,
no one got a licking.
Yeah. And what, has he just done this to himself on the way home? Out of like rage. And here's another thing.
Don't beat yourself up about it, but definitely don't actually beat yourself up about it.
I mean that figuratively and now literally. So, but also terrible parenting, right? If your son, right, and it is a son, as he says in the second one, you're my boy. You're my boy. If he's coming home covered in bruises, mysteriously at night, right? Don't just ask him a few times and then actually go to bed. Get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? That scene doesn't belong in a superhero film, right? Not one which sort of is a straight superhero film like this, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I had no clue what this is from, and you were like, oh, what's this scene out of context, then, like, what do you think this film is from? I would be like, okay, he has got a drug problem, and, like, he's in an abusive relationship with his drug dealer. Or like maybe he's a male prostitute. Is that what's going on here? Like the scene is played like the most intense, like sort of like kitchen sink. I mean, they are around a kitchen sink, but it's played like a gritty drama.
Yeah, I
And
know
it's
what you
like,
mean, yeah.
I mean, he was just doing quips.
Ferociously out of place for
Yeah.
one scene prior.
Yeah,
Him joking about with a criminal who may have murdered his uncle.
yeah. And this also right, and this
Up
film,
and down all over the place.
yeah. And this film ends with like a lizard apocalypse.
Wow. Yeah, we haven't even really got to the fact that this, I believe, I know you're going to be like, well, in the movie prior, but the villains of Spider-Man,
Yeah,
a lot of the time,
Yeah.
and especially prior to this movie,
yeah.
have all had one foot in reality, bar Sandman
I mean,
and Venom.
Huh?
So Green Goblin
right,
and Doc Ock are little bit like, it's a scientist,
yeah,
but he's just a human guy.
yeah,
He's super strong.
yeah,
Doc Ock is like, I needed these arms to help with an experiment.
yeah,
It went wrong.
yeah.
They're attached to my body. Kind of shit the bed with Sandman and Venom, but we won't talk about Spider-Man 3.
I do like Sandman. I mean, not the personality, but like it's cool, isn't it? Cool power.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah,
But then this one, I don't know why they went first movie. They went lizard. And do you know what I mean? Where we have just been saying like, I know he's Spider-Man
Yeah.
and he's got superpowers.
Yeah.
And this is a superhero film, so it is obviously going to be. It is going to be like that, but I feel like having Lizard straight off the bat in a film where you're trying to tell the origin, which is like a grounded style of doing so, like they've tried and failed
yeah,
to keep it grounded,
yeah,
and like you said, quite straight,
yeah,
especially with these dramatic scenes between the characters.
yeah.
For you then to just be like, just picked up and just been like, but the villain in the piece is trying to make everyone a lizard.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, it's so all over the place.
It really is.
But
I feel
it's really out of
Yeah,
touch with where it's set,
yeah,
and that's weird because it's set in a comic book movie
yeah. It's mental.
that it doesn't know what to do with itself.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were just like, oh, who's the most well-known sort of villain besides the ones we've used?
And they're like, we have used quite a few.
Yeah. So they were like, lizard, and then they were like, oh, we were going to make it sort of gritty and grounded. Well, I guess we can't now, but we still can.
Really kind of gritty CGI and make him look nothing like he does in the comic. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, we'll do that.
Oh, you know what? He looks like the Mario Brothers movie.
Oh yeah, he looks like
Goombas,
yeah.
Yeah, he looks like a Goomba.
100%.
Yeah,
you
and
can't
that's-
unsee that when you see it.
And like, thing is, CGI is actually very good.
Yeah.
It's just, but of like a very convincing...
Especially when you compare it to Spider-Man 3.
Right. Yeah.
The CGI, like I don't know. This might just be me. Everyone that I've kind of talked to about that has said they thought it was good, but the CGI in 3 I thought was really bad.
Oh, what, for like Sandman and that?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
No, Sandman was the bit I thought was good.
Yeah.
But just
Venom?
Peter and Harry.
Oh, fuck, that is bad. That
because
is really bad.
I said this in the podcast. I was like, it is especially then rather than now. It's harder to CGI when
Human skin.
it's a human.
Yeah.
Just a human.
Yeah.
Like no mask.
No.
Like it's a lot easier when it's like, say if it's so for instance in the first Spider-Man, yes, there's bad bits. There are some good CGI where it's Spider-Man and where it's Green Goblin.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's because, you don't have to really get facial features right. You just have to get like the mask
Yeah, and, like,
movement.
Texture, skin and stuff's hard.
But they do a lot of CGI scenes
Yeah.
with human beings in,
Yeah.
with Harry and Peter mainly.
That stuff looks terrible.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
The amnesia-inducing fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the worst bit.
Yeah.
The bit I'm pretty much referring to.
Yeah.
And I know that's hard to compare it to because there's not a lot of that in this one where they're using humans in CGI.
Yeah.
But I still just believe that the CGI is just a lot better.
It's really good. It's a very convincing looking Goomba.
Oh yeah,
I just don't like I don't like the design. Like I wish they could.
No, the design is rubbish.
Like this film would be not a lot. It'd still be bad, but like I think this film would get more credit if it was a like scarier looking lizard.
Yeah, scarier looking lizard. Go out there with the design.
Yeah.
Because this is just like, oh, he's a human and he's turned himself into a lizard. He has to have some human features and stuff. Just go all out.
Yeah.
I know we were just saying, oh, this is a kind of a little bit of a grittier take on the origin.
That's the thing. That's a bad idea, right?
Yeah.
Like Batman is a character you can do different things with Batman.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, like if you could do like Spider-Man and it's not Peter Parker and do something weird with it, but if you are making it Peter Parker, there's pretty specific tone to stick to. Like he's not the same sort of character where you can go at it with different tones. And,
unless you went wacky and you went with some of the comic book, like 2099 or like Noir or
do you know what I
mean? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
That is a complete tonal shift, but they all just, we might get that sometime down the line in live action, but at this point they were just like, no, we need Peter Parker. We need it to be pretty much exactly the same.
If it's Peter Parker, like just good guy Spider-Man, then
the origin's already done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, don't need to see Uncle Ben die again.
No.
Also, don't kill him in a way where he had it fucking coming. I'm sorry, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that was a harmless petty thief, right? I mean, sure, he's brought a gun, but he didn't think to. That wasn't.
He wasn't in any danger.
No, like so
until he went to go get the gun.
Uncle Ben just seems like a fucking raging psychopath when he goes for that gun.
Yeah.
Right, and so also, right, Uncle Ben, has a massive go at Peter when he comes home, right? Because he was supposed to pick up Aunt May. Fair enough. However, at the end of the film, Peter listens. He finally listens to the last voicemail Uncle Ben left for him. Uncle Ben gives him like a pep talk over the phone. His voicemail is sort of like a bloody love you, Peter. He goes like, "You're my hero. Come on home." If Peter had listened to that message, he comes home, finds this furious old man. Like, you should be like, "Why did you said I was your hero?"
Yeah.
Like, what a prick.
Yeah.
Like, what an absolute prick.
It's like he set him up, isn't it?
He completely set him up.
Yeah. Like, come home, like, come on,
it's all good. You fucking piece of shit.
Waiting for him with a fucking baseball bat.
Yeah. I feel like, let's try and go through the plot quickly. I don't know, because I just want to say, like, we've got to address the fact that there's the whole thing of, like, his parents.
Yeah.
And I thought that was intriguing to me when I heard about it. And
the execution was just wildly so badly done.
Yeah. Because, it's that thing of, like, oh, he's going to sort of, like, tell it over, like, a few films. Like, no. And also...
No, don't do that.
Yeah, and that's... Oh, my God, and the second one.
Here's the thing. That is one of the fundamental flaws of this particular iteration of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Is the fact that they were banking on you loving Spider-Man so much that they could probably get 3 or 4 out of it.
Yeah.
And then spin-offs.
Yeah.
And
oh my God, spin-offs of just here's some characters you own the rights to.
Yeah. Ugh. Which, I mean, you've just explained what Disney Plus Marvel shows are going to be like in about 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got main characters in them at the moment with Loki and Wanda and Hawkeye.
Main characters, but also characters who you wouldn't bank on for a film.
No, so I understand why they get a series.
Yeah.
And actually, I pretty much said this last time out that this is that is a kind of a good idea, but there's enough fans of Scarlet Witch and especially of Loki and of Hawkeye to a certain extent.
Oh, I don't
know. That they're just like, okay, we can tell a story. Yeah. It has to be like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
You just wouldn't put one up on the big screen.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But then you look at the slate after next year. Or around, maybe the year after, and it's just like, why?
Right.
It's just like, no, thanks.
To be fair though, they all seem like A-listers compared to what was. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm being proven wrong, I guess, because Morbius is coming.
True.
Morbius.
But that's another thing that Sony have been trying to get off the ground for years.
Yeah.
We've been hearing about this particular film, which has had other people attached to be Morbius, for about 6-7 years. Honestly, since this.
There's going to be a Silver Sable movie. Who the fuck is Silver?
And this is all just.
I mean, I'm completely against there being a Venom film, and there's 2 of them, and there's gonna be more, and he's in the MCU now.
Yep.
And so's Morbius. They're still in the MCU now, isn't it? Yeah,
it will be.
Yeah.
We'll know by No Way Home.
Yeah.
Which is not far off.
No.
And so that's what they were banking on. They were banking on you loving Spider-Man so much that you'd watch 3 films, a Sinister Six movie that was apparently not going to have Spider-Man in it,
I see,
a Venom film which is not going to have Spider-Man in it, which we eventually got, Morbius, and they were all planning this initially in 2012, 2014.
That's insane.
And that's what blew my mind. And then obviously once Amazing Spider-Man 2 bombed.
Yeah.
Well, I say bombed, but like it just wasn't a critical or commercial success as they would have liked.
No.
Hence why they then obviously reached out. Or I probably think it was Kevin Feige who thought, well, they didn't do too well, so now's the time to strike.
Yeah.
I feel like they were planning all of that. You know, the sheer, they thought that Spider-Man was obviously too big to fail in their eyes, and then they got the charts in and they were like, oh, it failed. It's kind of mental how they were banking on that.
I mean, I really hate the whole modern sort of way of like, oh yeah, we'll establish this this character now so you recognise them, and then when they do something important in the next film, there's more impact. Never works.
No, it does.
Like the only time I kind of feel it can work is when like if they have a friend who becomes an enemy. But then you really have to make sure that that friend pops in that first film, and you spend time with them. Right. The biggest like example of it just not working is in Amazing Spider-Man 2. They have a character, Felicia Hardy, who is going to become Black Cat, and is probably going to get her own spin-off film.
Yeah.
But they don't make you care about the character. All she does is scowl in a boardroom.
Yeah, and get and just chat with Harry.
Yeah.
Here's the thing in Amazing Spider-Man 2, honestly, with not to skip ahead too much, but with Harry
over a shop.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's fine. We're just flying by the seat of our pants at the moment. So, honestly, it's such a mess.
Yep.
It only makes sense that the podcast is a mess.
Yeah.
So, with Harry Osborn, honestly, on the rewatch, I thought I missed something. So when he injects himself with the goblin serum, and his body's like changing.
Yeah.
He's in the Sinister Six room with all the other gadgets.
Yeah.
Which I feel is just like so fucking stupid.
The labyrinth, the room of foreshadowing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and so he's 18 years old.
Mm-hmm. Has a company.
Has the company? Yeah.
Sorry, right. Hold the thought. It's just I meant to say earlier. There's a bit where this guy who's like the second in command is like, God, he's like plotting against Harry, and he's like, God, like that from that child, Harry Osborn. It's like he sounds like he's saying it about a character who's younger than him, and he's like sort of mocking him by calling him a child. It's like he's only just 18.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know you are an adult at 18 legally, but like you are a fucking child. And like, especially in the context of being in like a boardroom running a corporation.
Yeah. But when he's transforming into the Green Goblin, and then he like sees the suit and glider. See, the filmmakers, honestly, were just like, you've seen Spider-Man 1, right? You've seen not Amazing Spider-Man. You've seen the originals.
Yeah.
We're just going to skip how he knows how to use any of that technology.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't know this room exists.
Because he's seen Spider-Man 1 as well.
Yeah, I know, yeah. He knows how this works.
Yeah.
Can perfectly fly that glider.
Yeah.
So much so that he's having a fight with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Who is like, has great reflexes.
And gets to, not that great, because all those car thieves battered him.
Oh, yeah. In the first one.
Yeah.
He got better since then.
Yeah. And, and he's able to murder a young woman. Which, right. This film... Right, Spider-Man's lesson is like, oh, with great power comes great responsibility, right? Amazing Spider-Man's lesson is, everyone just fucking dies all the fucking time. And like, I hate it, right? So his uncle, right, parents die, yeah? off screen in the first one, then prologue the second one. They also off screen, but they die in that plane crash because that hitman.
You can't survive.
No, but also like I bet they were. They were going to survive, weren't they?
They were going to survive. Yeah, I think they were.
Oh really? Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, the dad was definitely going to be like, Peter, you're the best thing ever, Peter.
It's me, and it's just like he's actually Two-Face. I don't know why Sony just shat the bed. They were just like, we're mixing them all now. We bought this off Warner Brothers.
Imagine Warner Bros. Just being like, yeah, you can have Batman.
Yeah, I feel like they just went into the boardroom and requested Two-Face.
Yep.
It's just like, we want to make Ben Parker, Spider-Man's dad, Two-Face. They're like, in a Batman film? And they're like, no, in Amazing Spider-Man 3. And then everyone's like looking at each other just like, by God, I think we're going to do it. Like, that's just so fucking crazy. Like, we want to see that happen, you know?
You glorious son of a bitch.
It's like, and then just like, Sony just dropped cash.
And they're like, we can't give him Two-Face. Like, don't worry, it's not happening.
Yeah, yeah, they're counting the money. They're just like, for a film that'll never get released.
But yeah, like that is a stupid scene as well with the plane crash.
Yeah.
Because like the pilot comes out and he's like, hey, it's a private jet in it.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, Peter Parker's parents, just your pilot here, everything's under control. And they're like, oh, you've got blood on your hands. Like, yeah, I'm a hitman. I'm going to kill you. And then there's like a massive fight. And Peter's dad, who's like a 50-year-old scientist, is just like kicking this guy's ass.
I know, right? This makes no sense.
So they die. And then Uncle Ben dies. And then Gwen Stacy's dad dies. And then Gwen dies. Right? Gwen Stacy, yeah? Fucking hell. Right? They killed her once in the 70s. Just because they were like, oh, well, Mary Jane's more popular. And it was like shocking at the time because that sort of stuff hadn't really happened in comics.
Yeah.
And now, like, you can't, like, throw a stone and that stone will hit the corpse of a superhero's girlfriend. Like that, there's a whole like trope and there's a whole like website dedicated to the trope of like women in refrigerators. Where like, because basically in Green Lantern in the 90s there was like a Green Lantern comes home and finds that his like girlfriend's like been murdered and her corpse has been shoved in the fridge.
Fucking hell, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Even for DC, which, up until very recently was not like as dark and brooding as you'd think.
Yeah. Especially Green Lantern, which has always seemed to be the most like
hope.
Yeah. And the most sort of like Kapow!
Yeah, I know, yeah.
And you can blame what you can trace.
Believe! And then just like smash cut to him just like just like literally the saddest face you've ever seen opening, and all you can see is the fridge door light. You're just like, oh no, we know what happened. She's dead.
So yeah, like if someone gets murdered, and the idea is like, they often kill women just to like further
to incense the hero. Basically.
Yeah. It's just to give like the hero a bit more depth because like they've offed his girlfriend.
Fucking hell.
And like Gwen started that, and then like, but
and they've been obsessed with trying to get one of Spider-Man's girlfriends dead ever since.
Yeah, and it's like
on screen.
I don't get the point of why you bring like, because also. They just brought Gwen Stacy in just to be like, it's a bit different because it's not Mary Jane.
Subverting expectation.
Yeah, and then it was like, I mean, could you subvert the expectation by not killing her? Because it's not like, this is his first experience of grief. It's like the guy just some people die every time he blinks. I mean, fucking hell, her dad being like, look, I was wrong about you. You've helped me avert the lizard apocalypse. But promise you'll stay away.
I was going to call it the Liz-pocalypse, but I'm thinking of Liz Lemon from 30 Rock, where he's just released. He releases a toxin and everyone turns into Tina Fey.
Just Tina Fey. They all become just a very attractive woman who everyone pretends is a slob.
Yeah. Just because she likes eating ice cream on the sofa and eating pizza. Oh no. Doesn't mean Tina Fey's not really hot. Sorry.
Oh God, Lemon, you've got like some stain on your jumper that we can't actually see because you haven't put on your jumper.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. The Liz-pocalypse.
But he says, promise me you'll stay away from Gwen because now I know you're Peter Parker because I don't know how. I should have counted how many times his mask comes off in that first film.
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing: don't they have the? Maybe they don't actually. I thought they had like that was, or was it when Tom Holland came in where they had the moving eyes for the emotion? You know, like
that is the Tom Holland one.
Yeah, so I can technically I can kind of understand why you'd have the mask come off more because
but
to get more emotion, but also don't do it.
Yeah, happens so often.
Yeah,
I understand the significance.
It does. They do it too much for it to make sense that people don't know who he is.
Yeah, it's bollocks. And he says, "Promise me you'll leave Gwen alone, because this is you'll have enemies like look after you." And he's like, "Okay, I will." And then doesn't go to his funeral, which I understand. He said he'd stay away from Gwen, but I feel like dick move.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And also, do break up with her.
Did he not? What did he do? Then?
Right, so
just ghost her, I guess.
Yeah, here's what happens. She turns up. She has to turn up at Aunt May's house.
Yeah.
Right, and she confronts him. She's like, "Why weren't you at the funeral?" And he's just sort of like, "Oh."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And then she literally has to go like, "He told you to keep away from me, didn't he?" Because she knows. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Keep knocking this mic. I'm just too animated with my hands. Is it like? Will it be right like that?
Nah.
Okay.
There you go. That should be right there.
Okay. Cool. I won't touch it again. So and she has to be like, "Oh, he told you to keep away from me, didn't he?" And he's like, gives a little nod or whatever. It's just so lame. And so just break up with her and be honest. And then Aunt May gives him some fucking pep talk. Maybe that's where he listens to the pep talk, like voicemail trap. As a trap. Uncle Ben was a psycho. That's why he goes for that gun. But then it's so creepy. I think they think it's like charming, but the way it's played just seems so creepy. Gren's in class, and Peter comes in late because he's been doing the Spider-Man and his teacher goes, "Oh, late again, Mr. Parker," and he's like, "Oh, sorry, it won't happen again." And this teacher goes, "Don't make promises you can't keep." And he sits behind Gwen, and he just goes, "Yeah, but those are the best kind." And she sort of gives a little smile, and she's like, "Oh, he's gonna bang me again." And like the whole vibe, like once again, if I just saw that out of context, I'd be like, "Oh, he's gonna murder her." Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's
Also, smash cut to the next movie. They're both back together.
Yeah, but then he decides, "Oh, actually, no, it is an issue for me that I've broken that promise to your dad."
Fucking mental that he flip flops so much.
And that he has to flip flop by seeing like the ghost of her dad scowling at him.
Yeah,
in
like police cars and like
at the graduation.
Oh, it's so fucking.
Oh my god, something that just totally epitomises this film's like morbid obsession with just sort of constant grief is Aunt May goes to just at his graduation goes, "I wish Uncle Ben could have been here," right? And he's like, I mean, way to put a down on things. You're all thinking it, but don't say it. And then he goes like, "Yeah, and my folks too." Like, and all the others we've lost.
Sake. Yeah. And they all turn up like blue ghosts, like in Star Wars.
And there's Hayden Christensen.
That would have made it so much better.
And just George Stacey just like scowling. I think he's like shaking his head.
Yeah, totally. Oh god.
But like two things they could have like melded together quite nicely, right? So the web shooters, if they like, because he has this sort of relationship, he begins this sort of like kind of like they don't fully commit to it, but like the lizard, can't never remember his name,
Dr. Connors.
Yeah, Dr. Connors, played by Reese Ifans. He sort of is becoming like a mentor to him, and then becomes a lizard and wants to turn everyone else into a lizard.
There's no in between, is there?
No. It's literally like, I'm growing back my arm. Oh, I've become a lizard. I must make everyone like this.
Everyone must heal. Oh, yeah, just God. And then it is just that where me and Sam were saying this about things that just happen off screen, and you're like, oh, you're just supposed to accept it. Good films don't just. We do say it. Show me, don't tell me.
Yeah,
but it is just really awkward when it's. They know it's going to be multiple films.
Yep.
but they just put something that happens off screen, and they're just like, just accept it, just don't worry, just don't worry your pretty little head about it. And the whole I'm just gonna ignore her dead dad's wishes. Is a little bit like that's a bit of a major thing to just sweep under the rug. Prior to the beginning of the film. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a clusterfuck of like epic proportions. And there's not really any saving grace for me on a second, third, fourth watch, whatever I'm on.
The only saving grace for me is I really enjoy the terrible like prick tease he does to Harry Osborn. So once they like meet up and he's like, you were there for me when my parents left when I was in primary school and when I was a tiny child, so I'm gonna be here for you. Now we're both like just left high school adults,
adult orphans.
Because your dad's dead now off screen, so
obviously
because he's gonna come back in the next one or whatever, I guess.
That worked.
And
he'll know how to glider too, even though he's older and never seen this technology in his life.
But he's got the claws like when he's dying, and he
which Harry doesn't get.
No, but he gets the weird.
Why
face.
do it?
I don't know. And why he's like, I'm dying, and then he's like, you're gonna die too, son. Like, so it's been killing him for like his adult life, and he dies in like his 60s, right?
Yeah.
But Harry's is like just gonna kill him.
Harry's just like accelerates. Like he is exhibiting no signs.
No.
When he arrives in New York.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd probably say being in close proximity to your dad is probably what's accelerating it. So never see him again.
I reckon it's that, the stress of managing a $1 billion corporation when
a
you're 18.
Fortune 500 company.
When you're 18.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's any connection whatsoever to Peter Parker.
Yeah, probably,
Yeah, because, like...
That's just... You're going to die.
Yeah. Unless you're...
Does Harry die in this?
No, he ends up in prison.
Oh, okay.
The Ravencroft Institute.
Oh, yeah.
And but there's that mysterious man who is like putting the Sinister Six together, I guess.
Yeah.
That is like that scene at the end of Amazing Spider-Man where Reese Ifans is in prison and there's a guy in the shadows who sort of turns up and he's like, oh, does he know about his dad? And he's sort of like, you leave him alone. And the guy just sort of appears in the prison. And it's I actually found it quite like good sort of like, oh, what's this? This is very mysterious. Yeah. But it's one of them things where they came up with a mysterious scene and they didn't know
what to do with it.
No. And so apparently, like I read on the Wikipedia for Amazing Spider-Man 2 that character is revealed in this film to be some guy from like a Spider-Man novel. Yeah. Don't.
You've got at this point, 50 plus years of comic books.
Yeah.
For you to pick out a really obscure, really unknown character, to be this mysterious, guy who's pulling all the webs, from behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Well, I've heard that kind of talk before, but anyway, is a real just kind of douchebag move.
Yeah.
They just put a name in a hat and it was just the most random one to come out.
Yeah.
And inside that you had like Doc Ock and like actual interesting characters.
Norman Osborn was like the big suspect and it seems like, oh, it's got to be Norman Osborn, and then Norman Osborn's there and he dies and it's Chris Cooper and they cast
what a waste.
Yeah. And like they cast a guy who is like, he's been in a lot of stuff, but like you
wouldn't really recognise him.
No, he was not a famous actor. Like they purposely, when you put a character in the shadow, it's so that when he steps out of the shadow, you're like,
it's him.
Yeah.
But
then it's just like, oh no, he's just always got his face covered in sort of shadow.
They did not know what the fuck they were doing.
No, not
with both of these films, and it's so severely evident on like a couple of watches.
Yeah.
That you're just, it's a wonder that anyone with half a brain at the studio knew what was going on. Do you know what I mean? Like could piece everything together. Like what was the plan going forward?
I mean, I think the plan was just like more IP,
more mystery, and more literally they were just like, we need more mystery.
Yeah.
because otherwise people won't tune in for the next movie.
Yeah.
You know, that's how Marvel's getting them.
But
And I'm like, no, they're not, because
No.
the main character in each Marvel film is like a big character.
Yeah.
You know, they're not hanging on because they're intrigued to see why Nick Fury's there.
Yeah.
But they're not watching Iron Man 2 to necessarily. Do you know what I mean? They're not really like, oh, we're all in this because I want to know what's happening with Nick Fury.
Yeah.
And you know, they're not turning up to Captain America because they're just like, everyone is kind of in wonder, like, oh, what's the post-credit scene gonna be like?
Yeah.
What are they gonna do? But they do have to sit through a movie first.
Yeah.
So you know, watch Captain America. I'm just gonna be on my phone this whole time. Wake me up when the post-credit comes on.
Yeah.
With that mysterious character that we won't know about until 3 movies down the line.
Played by a character actor.
No one knows.
Yeah. And
so it's not a reveal.
Oh, so who's he playing? Have you read this Spider-Man novel? No. What? I haven't. No. Is anyone? Oh no, you won't know who it is.
God, no one's read it. Man.
Yeah. No, it's a Spider-Man novel, mate. No one's fucking read it.
Spider-Man novel. God, mate. I'm just imagining a guy picking up the Spider-Man novel and flicking through it like they do in movies, like really frantically, trying to find the bit of information. They're like, the pages are flying, and they're just, and then they're like turning it upside down, you know, shaking it as if there's something was going to drop out.
Yeah,
they just turn it, just like, where's all the pictures? Just like it's. Oh, yeah, I just don't do it.
Thing is, right, here is the trick to setting up a sequel. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just have your main characters alive at the end.
Good choice. Good choice. Yeah.
Right. Star Wars. Yeah. Obviously, in Empire Strikes Back, they reveal that Darth Vader is Luke's dad, and you know, obviously, when they went into Return of the Jedi, you know, people wanted to know more about that.
Yeah.
But like,
the characters were there and alive, so they're interested to see what happened.
Yeah, and like, but the thing is, they got to Return of the Jedi by having Star Wars, like A New Hope, as it eventually was known. Like, the characters are just like, it's pretty much the story's been told in that. Like, if you wanted to, you could just say like, oh, and the Empire just went after the Death Star.
Yeah, of course.
So there isn't sort of like, and of course, there's much more to be done. They very smartly had Darth Vader like fly off.
Yes.
But besides that, it's like, well, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, they're all there. So, you know, you can have another one. You don't need to be like, oh, what's the mystery of... Oh, who's that? Bollocks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Die Hard, yeah? I mean, obviously, but I'm not a sequel. I'm not a fan of the sequels.
Die Hard?
No, well, no, here's the thing. They're... Like, Die Hard 2 is, like, fun. But it is sort of like, oh, it's happening to him again. And, like, River Vengeance are like, that is good. Except for the ending's a bit silly.
Yeah, okay, got you.
4 is just...
Oh, yeah, no, okay, yeah.
And 5 is dreadful.
I was more like, oh, you don't like 2 and 3.
Yeah, no. So, right, here's the thing. Like, I just feel like it'd be more... I would have preferred it if they weren't there.
What?
Well, no, like, because the first one is so good.
I know.
And, like, 2 and 3, like, if 2's on, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But it is...
What about With a Vengeance?
Oh, no, River Vengeance is, like... River Vengeance, I feel like, would be... like near Die Hard level. It's just the ending like falls apart. It's very sloppy and weird and like tonally.
See, I can watch it. I understand what you mean. I agree.
Yeah.
But I still watch it. I still really like it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm being a bit harsh on them, but I just they don't. I love that first Die Hard so much.
Okay.
That like the other two they just don't really like come to that level. But what I'm saying is they didn't make Die Hard. And I know it's weird. It's a bit different in theory when you're planning sequels and when you have a character of an IP that you can do that. But just act like you're not doing that.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Because basically, John.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah.
Like John McClane's alive at the end. Therefore, you can have another Die Hard, right? Like, I mean, obviously there's like in the Raimi trilogy. Obviously, there's always that thing of like, you know, Harry Osborn, like he wants to he blames Spider-Man for his dad's death, but it's not like a mystery.
Yeah. You're just intrigued to see what happens next.
Yeah.
You're not like, it's not revealing itself. It's not unraveling like a mystery.
No.
It's pretty much unraveled when he sees him drop off his dad.
Yeah, so it just establishes like his motivation for the next film in this one.
Yeah.
But they does it in a way where a story happens and you're not just sort of like there's not just a character waiting for things to do.
Whereas in Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2, there is a lot of that. Mainly in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's when it kicks into overdrive that they are thinking
of a cinematic universe.
Yeah. And at that point, you're just, they really were going to fire into it. And, especially with Paul Giamatti as Rhino, completely wasted. Why have him as Russian? I don't know.
Well, he's Russian in the comics, I believe.
Is he?
He's got the same name, so probably.
I'm only really limited to, I think,
animated series.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I've ever actually read a comic with Rhino in it.
Okay, yeah. Fair.
But
so on the nose, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and he literally screams all his dialogue.
Yeah.
And
but here's the thing. The character, I've always been like, oh, okay, like you got Doc Ock.
Yeah.
I know Vulture is Vulture, and Scorpion's Scorpion.
Yep.
I can't really see where I'm going with this, but I think Rhino's just tips it over the edge for me. But I'm just like, do you know what I mean? Like I'm like, I know. Look, a scorpion can kill you. Deadly venom. That might not be right. I'm not a scientist, but I'm pretty sure.
Actually, they actually talk you into killing yourself.
Holy shit. Vulture. Again, sounds like it is like kind of like a creature that has like connotations.
Yep.
Rhino. Don't know if you've seen them in the wild. They're not furious.
No, but you don't want to be around them when they are.
I know. But they're kind of,
they like to.
They get a bad rap.
They like to chew grass while their little bird mates chew the insects off of them.
Yeah, I know, and that's obviously terrifying. But
it's the stuff it shakes you to your core.
The stuff of nightmares. Hence why Stan Lee and Steve Ditko decided to have him as a villain. I don't know why. But Rhino just tips me over the edge. I'm like, that's just ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't be like this.
Well, here's the thing. What it should be is he should basically be whichever one out of Rocksteady and Bebop from the Turtles is the Rhino. That's what Rhino should be.
Yeah.
But instead, he looks like a man who has gone to a fancy dress party as a rhino.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's
in the cartoons days.
Yeah, it's a weird.
And in this, it's even worse because it's just in the initial scene.
Is he a tracksuit?
Yeah, he's just. This is so weird. Like, why is? And then that suit. I don't know if is it in that scene where it's like got all the foreshadowing room.
Yeah, so the foreshadowing room
is in there, isn't it?
So yeah, I believe so, with the tentacles and the wings.
The wings.
And then like he's like, oh, I've Mr. like Procurement or whoever, like the recruiter for the Sinister Six, who I guess was in League of Harry Osborn the whole time.
Don't know how that could be possibly true because Harry's been in town for a week.
Yeah, okay, so I don't know. But basically, he's like, they seem pretty chummy at the end.
Oh, okay.
And he turns up to talk to him.
Yep.
He's like, oh, I've already found like your first recruit. And I think, so basically they say like, he's escaped prison. So the implication is he's like turned up and been like, because this guy can sort of just enter and like come and go with prisons as he chooses. Because he just he's just in Reese Ifans' cell at the end.
He just has prison access. He's a prison guard.
My God,
honestly,
you've cracked the case.
Forget Batman. I'm the world's greatest detective.
They'd be like, oh, I don't trust one of these guards. Oh yeah, which one do you think it is that's corrupt? I'm like, do you think it's the one who's just constantly in shadow? Is
it the guy who's got a family and 2 kids and who's always showing the picture of his children?
Yeah.
Or is it the guy in the fedora, blacked out sunglasses, dressed in a trench coat? We've told you, put your uniform on. And he literally just like backs off into the shadows.
Ah, there he goes again.
You'll never catch me. Never catch me in the Sinister Six.
The what?
God's sake, he'll be over at Rikers in a minute. Cheeky bastard. I don't know. Yeah, it's just
it's a character. It keeps us on our toes.
We'll find out in the 5th movie.
Yeah,
or in the Sinister 6th. God's sake.
God, imagine if he's just in the cutscene of No Way Home.
it is going to have two end credits scenes. So I'm assuming one of them is going to be him recruiting the current Sinister Six that we got going in the MCU.
Yeah.
And then the second one will be more of him just hanging around in prisons. So with Vulture, Adrian Toomes from he'll just
It'd be funny if Michael Keaton is in like future MCU films, but just never gets out of prison.
I honestly think they'll just waste him. I think they'll just he said he is going to be in some form of Marvel media as Vulture soon, but also he is just playing the Vulture, so he could just be like more prison scenes.
Yep.
Like for this post credits with your boy Trenchcoat,
It's your boy Trenchcoat. That's from his mixtape.
But I mean, it's not a lot. What do you think about the Spider-Man suits that they use?
Oh, what in
Amazing Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man 2? Because they have very different in the two. I feel like they made the choice to actually do something different with the suit.
Yeah.
Make it look different.
Yeah.
Completely different, pretty much, from anything from the comics. I know there's only so far you can go with the Spider-Man comic.
It's probably based on something from the comics.
But they haven't gone your typical.
No.
And then after that, they put that in the bin and just went exactly like it looks in the comic books.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Which one? Both, yeah?
Yeah. I'm very easy pleased, really, I think, when it comes to that. Like, as long as it's got like the webbing with there's red and blue and they got the big eyes, nice. I think I'm alright. Right.
Better than Tobey Maguire's?
No.
It's the original, isn't it?
Yeah, classic. Bloody classic. Like that's the thing I remember my mind being blown as a kid, because it was like, I'd watch the X-Men films and they're in like just
black leather.
Yeah. And they even make a joke of like, he says like, what did you expect, yellow spandex?
What do you recommend we should wear?
Yeah.
Yellow spandex? No, Cyclops. So fucking impractical. But just not creaky leather.
I remember seeing
seeing
like the special features for that. They were like, we just had to like tear the seams of our costumes because you couldn't move in them.
Yeah.
But
probably should have measured them a bit better.
Probably.
Like, I'm not a seamstress, so I probably shouldn't judge. But have you seen the speaking of X-Men? Have you seen the outtake where they have Spider-Man running?
No.
The bit where they're on they're at the Statue of Liberty and they come in.
Yeah.
The entrance.
Yeah.
So all three or all four of them? Yeah. There's four of them come in, and someone I don't know who, one of the crew or the higher ups, comes running in like a Spider-Man costume.
Right.
And he's just like, oh, sorry, wrong movie. It's just like walks off. It's quite funny.
Nice. But like it just, because I was just sort of watched that and was like, they look bloody stupid. And then saw the trailer for Spider-Man and was like, oh my god, he's actually just Spider-Man.
He just looks amazing.
Yeah.
I take back everything I said.
But it's iconic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And just it looks, it's the best superhero.
Hard to get wrong. Because I mean,
I think as long as you don't, I mean, just like it's like when like a mate of mine had the recent Spider-Man game, and he's just showing me all the different costumes. Very few of them look stupid.
Yeah.
Like it's just something about the shape of the eyes and like the shape of the mask. You get that right, you can do different stuff with it. It's all good.
Yeah, cool.
You can fuck it up with like the wrong color scheme, I think. But as long as it's like red and blue or black and red, like Miles Morales, then you're golden.
Will they have Miles Morales, do you reckon, in the MCU?
Here's what I think.
Post Tom.
Right. Pointless, isn't it?
Is it?
Okay, that's a bit harsh. But
with Into the Spider-Verse being out,
do
you feel like it's a bit like you're overdoing it if you have both?
Yeah.
And
also because for me, like you either go with Miles or you go with Peter, right? And so it's just gonna be more the same because this Peter is just like a nice teenage boy.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
and Miles is a nice teenage boy.
Yeah.
And also don't see how they can Miles' story of his uncle and stuff. I don't see how he can top Into Spider-Verse.
Mm.
I mean, for me, Into Spider-Verse, I think is probably like my favorite superhero film. I think I've said that before. But like, I just feel like you're just gonna be repeating the same beats, but not as well, and you're also gonna have him just interacting with other characters.
Yeah.
I think for me, I think the best thing to do if they lose Tom Holland would be to sorry, bit of gas. Sorry. Please cut that bit if you can. For me, the best thing to do would just be if they still want a Spider-Man, just take it somewhere different. Like a mate of mine went, oh, wouldn't it be what's his name? The guy from Community, Charles Gambino.
Oh, Donald Glover
Yeah, so he's got like a cameo in the Marvel Spider-Man
as the Prowler.
Yeah, and he references his nephew. Someone went, "Oh, wouldn't it be him?" And I was like, and I explained that no, that's Miles' uncle.
Yeah.
And why he's cast is because it was he sort of was tweeting about how he wanted to be Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man, and it gave Brian Michael Bendis, the guy who created Miles, like, oh, I'd like to see him as Spider-Man. And they're like, what would that be like? And then his sort of brain got going.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think just go really out there and just be like, just make that guy Spider-Man, just based on my friend's sort of misunderstanding. I know it's like that guy hasn't been Spider-Man in the comic, but like, I love that dude, and like a criminal sort of turn, like trying to do the right thing by being Spider-Man. I don't think that's been done in.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, like just something a bit different.
Yeah,
just because we've seen like, I really like Miles Morales, and but I don't think they could top Into the Spider-Verse, and also just don't in live action within the MCU. I just don't see how he could really be different enough from Peter Parker.
Yeah, fair enough.
It'd be different if they'd gone with an adult Peter Parker, but as they made 3 films of him as like the sort of like slightly sort of dopey yet smart sort of lovable teen, I don't see where the need for him is.
Yeah, no.
What do you think?
No, yeah, I agree. It's I don't think having another carbon copy of the characters is a good idea.
No. I mean, Miles has got his own personality. I just don't think it's a distinct enough sort of journey or sort of...
No, because then you'd have Peter Parker, who's been a teenager in this universe for forever.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, oh, and look, another one.
Yeah.
And I know they are different people, but the initial introduction... and then like, oh, his plights of like, oh, got to juggle schoolwork, and got to juggle being Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The second, is a little bit like, because then you'll be like 6 deep in Tom Holland's story.
Yeah. And
then even if he's gone, you're just like, okay,
yeah,
I know it's different, but it is also the same.
Yeah.
And it's that'd be a bit too much.
And it's like I really like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. So basically, I really like the first Marvel Spider-Man, Homecoming.
Yeah.
But then should have aged him up a bit. And like maybe had him in college in that one, or like the second one, or like and there's this thing of like him always having a mentor in every film. I just feel like I didn't really need that in the set. I liked the relationship with Iron Man in that first one, but like the thing with Nick Fury just didn't really do anything for me.
No,
like, there was some funny scenes, but there was no real...
I don't think it was supposed to be his mentor in that, though.
I guess not.
But I do know what you mean. He is always looking for direction from elsewhere.
Yeah. Which
is like, after a while, especially when he's been in the MCU, he's been to outer space, saved the universe.
Yep.
It's kind of like, I know those things
died for 5 years.
Those things are traumatic.
Yep.
But after having a suit that is basically an Iron Man suit, but for you, Spider-Man, I think my confidence would be so fucking high, honestly.
Yeah, I think he'd just be more self-assured at this point.
I think I would,
And also, when is his voice going to break? I mean,
Tom Holland's voice is never going to break.
No, but like it can't be that like, I can't really do it. Like he's sort of like, hi, help, mate. That's more like just sort of like that's more like yokel. But I don't know. It feels like he's always doing his voice like higher.
Yeah, I think that comes with Tom Holland doing an American accent.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong, but from what I've seen of him in other films, with American accents. It's not exactly the same as Peter Parker.
Yeah,
But I think there's a something that happens with his voice.
but he definitely
Just makes it a bit higher.
Okay, but he definitely like adopts like an awkward teen energy.
Oh, I've got yeah. Well, as an actor, he's definitely got that. You know,
But I feel
Down.
like they could have
Got
like
that
lessened that a bit as it's gone
over
on.
time. Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, I haven't seen No Way Home yet, but it seems like more of the same.
Mm.
Could have done with a bit more awkward teen energy with Andrew Garfield in this one.
Oh, 100%.
Because
There is no.
he's not awkward
scene,
at all.
no.
He seems completely self-assured.
Yeah.
And he seems completely self-assured in having no friends.
Yeah. Which is weird.
Yeah, really weird.
Because you have no affirmation as to what you're doing is good or, not awkward.
Yeah.
It's a little bit weird.
It's like original Peter Parker is sort of a geeky guy, he's a nerd, gets picked on a bit. This one is like too cool to have friends.
Yeah. I said this with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. It does feel like really off. Like he is just like I'm so awkward and like a loner, and then it's just like, yeah, but you're like quite attractive and cool.
Yeah, you dress cool. You do 6 skateboard skills, bruh.
Skateboard skills to Coldplay, and God, that's such a fucking shit scene.
Imagine if that Coldplay song was like one of the tracks you could put on when you play like Tony Hawk on PlayStation back in the day.
it would just be like all the fucking great early naughty skater tunes, and then just like I think it's called is it Kingdom Come?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, God, it's such a slow melodic song. Not good for skateboarding too.
No.
And whether you're recreationally doing it in real life or playing a video game skating.
Yeah, and if you're like using your skateboard to sort of just to explore your powers.
Yeah, explore your powers. Skate out your feelings is what I call that.
But then don't take too long doing it, because you will forget to pick your aunt up, and then your uncle will leave you a nice voicemail, which is a trap. So you lower your guard, you come home, and he screams at you.
He wants you dead.
Yeah. And then he realizes it's either you or him, so he commits
So he
suicide.
goes for the gun.
He's just like searching wildly for him as well. He's like, well, my nephew's gone out into the sea. I'm going to wander about looking for him too. That scene after Uncle Ben dies, when he goes to like pick a fight, like just looking for the guy.
Yeah.
It gets so elaborate so quickly, where there's like a rooftop chase.
Yeah.
And then he falls through a building, and this guy goes like, I know what you look like. He just sort of shouts that randomly.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're fighting someone on a roof, they fall through that roof.
They're dead.
Yeah, so you just go, well, job done.
Yeah.
You're not like, well, you got away this time. It's like, if you think he survived that,
You're an idiot.
yeah. But also, just if you like, then don't just go. Just walk down to where he is and kill him.
You're not an efficient killer.
Yeah, and I resent you for it.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't even talked about Jamie Foxx.
Jesus, we haven't. Have we? This is the least flack he's gotten for that performance in a long time.
I know, honestly. I feel like we've given him such an easy ride by not mentioning him even once.
And it is terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
It blows my mind that he's in the new one.
It blows my mind that they looked at Jamie Foxx and thought, we'll make Jamie Foxx look ugly. And I'm like, you basically just gave him like a drawn on by Sharpie gap tooth.
Yeah, which is like cured by the electricity.
Oh mate, that is
I didn't even think about
so
that.
fucking stupid.
Yeah, I watched the like the pitch meeting video.
Yeah.
That pointed out, and I was like, they do that.
Yeah.
I was just distracted by like the eels. I was like,
Obviously, yeah.
Why everything's got to be linked to an animal?
Yeah.
And like, just thing is, Electro is very much a blank slate, right?
Yeah.
You can put any sort of personality on him that you want.
Yeah.
Why was the personality comedy nerd?
Yeah. But Jamie Foxx, who is like, you recognise Jamie Foxx is Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, oh, but because we've put him with like scraggly hair, he couldn't be given like 2-minute makeover.
No.
And make him look like Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. Like, oh, what handsome and effortlessly cool Jamie Foxx.
Yeah. It's like, so fucking wasted.
Watching someone you know is like a smooth operator, right? I've never described anyone as like that, but I feel like it's appropriate for Jamie Foxx.
Oh, 100%.
Like watching him do sort of like, I'm a nerd.
It's my birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks for saving me, Spider-Man.
I'm friends with Spider-Man. We gonna get all these celebrities coming to the club. I just felt it was sort of like, I don't know. It just felt like
This is so fucking cringe to watch.
Yeah, and I just feel like he was sort of being like, this is bollocks, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the fucking piss out of this.
Yeah, this is again. I feel like he's just like talking to the exec, and they're telling him what to do. The director and producers, and he's just like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know if this is gonna land. And then he just like looks over, and it's just got like, a giant table full of cash, and it just says for Mr. Fox, and he just goes, "I'll do it." So what I think we've established here is the theme is I think that a lot of people got paid a lot of money to do a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah, a lot of stuff that they
probably shouldn't have done.
No. Oh, God. I mean, it's so... Right, and also, so... We keep jumping around, but that's fine.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. It really fucking annoys me that Gwen is like... She's an intern, supposedly, but it seems like she's fucking running the show.
She does, yeah. How does she have access all areas?
Yeah, like she's literally
Gwen Stacy, a high school student.
Yeah, yes. Why is she there all the time? And like, that's not a thing. It's just not a thing.
No.
And also, it's like, God. And that scene with them in the lift is so bad. When he's talking about Gwen and like Max Dillon. Jamie Foxx.
Oh, okay. Because there's quite a few Gwen Stacy in the lift with. There's one with her and Harry.
Oh yeah. Oh God, that is awful.
That is awful.
Yeah.
Where doesn't he hint about Peter Parker and Gwen, and it's all just kind of like really awkward, but there's not a lot said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a terrible fringe, if I recall.
Oh well, obviously the whole film.
Yeah.
He's got Bully Maguire fringe. Yeah.
Jesus, that's mental.
Why has he not got called out?
Yeah. Although at least he doesn't punch his girlfriend like Bully Maguire does.
Doesn't punch his girlfriend, and almost as bad, dance in the street, finger guns.
True. And I can dig on that.
Yeah.
But
dig on this.
Okay, another terrible scene that happens at Oscorp.
Yeah.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah. But okay, right. The whole thing of him going to Oscorp in that first one, turns up. He goes. He just grabs this badge from this like intern day thing.
Yeah.
And
why are they on the side? Like, so anyone can pick one up.
Exactly. And like the receptionist seems suspicious of him, but just lets it happen.
Yeah.
And
could be a terrorist.
Yeah. It's a Hispanic name that he picks up.
Yeah, it's like Carlos or something.
Yeah, and it's like Carlos Ramirez. So it's that Hispanic sounding.
Yes.
But like, thing is, if like, that's a weird gag.
It's very weird
because he's sort of like he doesn't look Hispanic. It's like, well, but
we know
he can still be Hispanic though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, are you really going to get into like fucking like racial classifications here? You fucking racist. And then you just see like the guy being like dragged away, and he's sort of like, oh, and he's like, what a prick.
Yeah. We're supposed to love this guy. Honestly, there's so many points where Peter Parker's doing something, and I'm just like, I'm supposed to be rooting for him.
Yeah.
But I'm so far away from rooting for him that I think he might be the villain. And then like the lizard's like, wants the Liz Lemon apocalypse. And I'm like, no, he's definitely the villain.
Do you know what though, right? I know we keep mocking the Liz Lemon apocalypse. But in a film which like just owned what it was more, I would actually think that's like a really fun bad guy plot.
Yeah. My favourite sitcom character. I'm going to turn everyone into them. Come on, I've heard worse plots.
I'm going to turn everyone into a nerdy MILF.
Yeah. Everyone's going to become Sheldon Cooper.
No!
You see people just jumping off buildings. God.
Oh, God.
I'd be first in line.
Yeah. No. That would be worse than any crime I can imagine. But no, keep it to Liz Lemon apocalypse, and everyone's just going to be sort of like just about managing to deal with their crazy sketch show.
Yeah, exactly.
But back to Rich Fans, right?
Yeah.
At Oscorp. like their relationship is supposed to be poignant. Like they never quite manage it.
No, not at all.
But it annoys me that Peter Parker makes the web shooters. What could have been an easy save there for me? Connors makes the web shooters for him. Just make their connection a bit tighter. Obviously, some people will be up in arms, but fuck it.
Try something new.
Yeah, and also there's a few times I read it in like the press for around the time before this, for the second one anyway, where they were like, "Oh, Gwen is like the brains and Peter's like the brawn," even though like Peter is like
also the brains.
Yes, but like if you really want to go into that, make her even though it's stupid that she's like as high up at Oscorp as she seems to be, give her the have her make the web shooters for him.
Yeah. There could have been so many different permutations of like integrating their jobs into how they affect Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But they went with absolutely none of them.
Instead, he just finds that room for the spiders.
Yeah.
Why have they had that room for the spiders for years when like Peter's dad's gone?
Yeah.
And
for years.
Yeah. So it seems like they were making a cure for this mystery disease by making like spiders. And he's just disappeared, and they're like, well, we'll keep that room handy just in case there's some sort of breakthrough.
Yeah.
I think Risk Fans is like working on it, maybe.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that only his DNA was in these spiders. So
oh god.
At some point, I reckon Peter's dad has had sex with a giant spider.
Or whatever. And sorry, what's her name? Madam Web from like the cartoons.
Yeah. He's had sex with Madam Web, and she spawned all those spiders. Because in the next one, it's like he leaves that video message. One of my least favourite tropes is just someone leaving like far too convenient and detailed a video message.
Yeah.
Before they die.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, I think Sherlock is the worst example of it.
Sherlock?
When like John Watson's wife, who died like a couple of episodes before in the last series, she leaves this like DVD that doesn't turn up until months after she's dead, and it's just too elaborate and long. It's just sort of like, just no. But like he leaves one where it's like, Peter, you've obviously found my secret lab. I assume a spider's bitten you. You've probably got superpowers by now. Because it's your blood, Peter. You're the chosen one. You're very special. Just absolute bollocks, mate.
Yeah. That's where I was just like, I'm clocking out because this is just it's ridiculous that he'd know when he dropped him when he was like 5, 6, whatever. That they would keep the research going.
Yep.
That Peter would somehow find his way inside Oscorp.
Yep.
Inside the room where then they have those spiders from the continued research.
Yep.
Again, it's just the odds of that is just so fucking infinitely big.
Yeah.
That you're just like, what if Peter Parker died when he was like 12?
Yep.
Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Just I know you're like, oh, it's a movie, X, Y, Z, but all of this, just doesn't make a lick of sense.
Yeah, no, I hate this, like, just characters assuming stuff, like, years in advance.
Yeah.
And just say, that secret lab in a subway tunnel.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is mental.
How would you get contractors that would keep that secret?
Yeah, that's mad.
That is mad.
I guess, and like, no one else knew, and it was
secret tunnels. Ooh. I don't know, like what was it? Something about FDR or like something, wasn't it? I don't know.
Who gave him the lab?
Peter Parker's dad was given a secret laboratory under New York's subway tunnels by Franklin D. Roosevelt. Fuck me. Sony had threw every bit of shit on the wall, didn't they?
That's a prequel comic I'd read.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Oh god!
Oh, it's so lame as well when she's talking about Peter's dad, Aunt May, where she's like, he was a normal guy. He used to go to work at 8, come back at 6, and he used to have his same briefcase and he ride this train. It's like, so you're like his sister or sister-in-law?
Yeah, no, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
Daily schedule.
Yeah, no,
it's a bit odd.
I'm just thinking that,
or possibly his aunt.
The screenwriter was just like, I've got so many ideas I need to cram into a movie. That like, even if they don't make sense, I have to put 55 ideas in.
Yeah.
And I've got 60 ideas.
Yeah. I think, was it Eternals you were saying? It's all draft one, like.
Oh, it's absolute draft one script.
Yeah. I mean, like Amazing Spider-Man 2 especially is just very draft one.
Very draft one.
Yeah.
That's a good like. Not to toot my own horn, but it's honestly it's a feeling when I get when you watch a film and the dialogue and the ideas are just so convoluted, and I'm just like, oh god, no one filtered this shit out for you know, and it's mental.
It really is.
And it happens more and more now.
Yeah, controversial maybe. I think I actually really like Sally Fields as Aunt May.
Yeah,
like obviously, like every scene she's in is bad.
Oh yeah,
but just because I find the writing in those scenes really bad.
Yeah.
There's one sort of funnyish. There's a couple of funny scenes between like the three of them when they're before Ben dies, which were alright, sort of charming. But
Sally Fields is a good choice for Aunt May.
Yeah, because I've never really clicked with
Marissa Tomei.
I mean, I've clicked with Marissa. But no. Here's the thing.
The one before, I don't know who.
Yeah, I can't remember her name, but I just find that Peter, like every scene.
I was saying this before that the Aunt May in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, seems more like her nan, or a grandma.
Well, I get that it could be his like great aunt.
Yeah,
because I had a great aunt. You just call her aunt, didn't you?
Okay.
But like. She also just seemed like older than time.
Yes, 100%, yeah.
So it kind of seems like he was raised by the Pocahontas' like tree nan.
Oh yeah. So Sally Fields is good.
I just find it very convincing as like even if she's like a great aunt, because it also could be just like the brother or sister of his dad, because like the dad is like an older man, it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just very convincing as an aunt. And also, but they don't like like Marissa Tomei. Like obviously they've cast a very attractive woman as his aunt, and also I feel like that's every scene she's in is just sort of dominated by blah blah. Like, God, you wouldn't mind, would you? You know, so it's a bit laddie.
Honestly, man, like me and Sam did the MCU podcast.
Yeah.
And he was just like, "Are we going to address the elephant in the room?
That sexy elephant?"
I was just like, "Look, it's Marissa Tomei. What else can you say? You know what I mean?"
I mean, yeah, it's just, and
I've had to talk about this on 2 podcasts now.
You're just all talked out.
I'm literally just like, God, man,
I can't keep talking about this sexy aunt.
I'm honestly exhausted. No, it's just weird that it's come up twice.
But it's like the biggest change of anything. It's just, besides like, I've always said about, they're giving me like friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But like just, and everyone's just sort of like, bloody hell, you're aunt, mate. Fuck you know. Also, like, what deal did Jon Favreau have in his contract to us? Like, oh yeah, and if anyone age appropriate that's hot comes in, I have to swoop in and be their love interest. Like Happy.
Yeah.
And also, right, fuck Happy, yeah.
Why? Why was it?
Well, here's the thing. I had this epiphany, right?
Okay.
Tony Stark sees the error of his ways in that first Iron Man.
Yeah.
The rest of his sort of arc over the MCU films is him sort of his redemption.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
His employees and all his mates, yeah. His little entourage, Pepper, War Machine, James Rhodes.
Yeah.
And Happy. They never have that same epiphany.
No.
They're just along for the ride.
They just ride those coattails.
Yeah. So, like, Pepper seems like the most qualified person in the world. She was just happy to be the right-hand woman of Merchant of Death.
Mm-hmm.
And Happy just seems to be like, just happily, hence the name. But happy,
clearly. Yeah,
happy to just take his fucking blood money. And at no point do they ever go, oh, no, yeah, what we did was wrong. Yeah? Fuck them.
Tony Stark at least had that notion.
Yeah. The final part of his redemption.
I even think that Pepper Potts at first was just like, why are you doing this? Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's keep making that sweet blood money, yo.
Also known as government contracts.
Yeah.
But they're just like, it is to the rest of the friend circle. It is just like, wow, he's not making billions off weapons anymore. This is ridiculous. He's lost his mind.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
and
no.
Like, they don't take action against it like Warmonger. But at the same time, if he was like, actually, I'm going back to weapons and that, I don't give a fuck anymore. They'd be like, yeah, sure, Tony.
Yeah. You're allowed to change your mind.
Yeah.
You
as long as I can still be like, oh, I'm Pepper.
As long as I make 15%. Yeah.
You keep them paychecks coming in big.
Yeah, I was gonna say, keep paying my rent for my penthouse. It's whatever. I don't really mind. Guns, no guns, whatever. Oh, an Iron Man suit. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But that
doesn't sound crazy. Yeah, Hot Rod Red. Yeah, fucking mental.
You fucking lost it, mate.
You lost it. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah, I just these movies are a bit. I mean, I wasn't really sad that I felt differently about them. I was more just like...
Well, here's the thing. Amazing Spider-Man 3, I thought was terrible at the time. No, sorry. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I got confused there.
Oh, God.
Wow.
I was just like, they did release one, and everyone has blocked it from their minds.
It's just like you just watch it and you just start like bleeding from the eyes. Like,
no! And you're just telling me about this film, and I'm just like having flashbacks of his existence. Oh God! Sorry, yes, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Sorry,
I remember at the time when I watched it at the cinema, I was like, "This is terrible." Like, I just remember laughing at laughing at, and
but it was when I went back to 1, I was just like, "This did not hold up at all."
No, I was expecting to be quite good.
Yeah.
I don't know why I liked it. Like,
I think I
just liked that it was Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and it wasn't as crazy.
So that is the power of Spider-Man. It's just like
he is the best superhero.
It's the best superhero, and it's the most popular for a reason.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why we're just talking about it all month long.
Yeah.
And,
it's the reason why you've had to discuss the sexiness of one aunt all this time.
for more minutes than I thought I was going to have to. If I reach an hour's worth by the No Way Home, I think I'm just gonna have to have a bit of time off.
You're just having like dreams like, no, the aunt's too sexy.
Literally all I'm thinking about is high waist jeans.
You're just like, he's just been sketching for months. We just go through your notebook. It's just high waist jeans.
It's like one of those notebooks that the kid from The Ring draws.
You make yourself a fucking Babadook style pop-up book.
Babadook style pop-up book. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. What's in those jeans? So we're gonna get to the ratings.
Okay.
But what are they gonna be out of? So for Amazing Spider-Man
1.
What is out of 5? Out of 5, what's it going to be out of?
There's 11 apocalypses.
Yep. Okay. Yep. Perfect. Yeah. Nice. You can go first. Bearing in mind you can't give it a 0.
Yeah. I am going to give this. I mean, I fucking love Emma Stone in these movies.
Is he enough to buoyancy these?
You're right. 4.5. No.
To give these buoyancy.
Yeah. One more thing. Right. Really great in these films. Possibly the 2 least convincing teenagers ever cast.
What the main? What?
Yeah,
Andrew
Garfield and like.
I mean, Tobey Maguire, mate.
Oh yeah, he's fucking. But they wisely move him out of high school pretty.
That is true. That's true.
And there's a bit where Gwen interrupts Flash Thompson beating Peter up.
Yeah.
Like she even plays it like a teacher.
Yeah. Actually, she's got big teacher energy.
Yeah. It's like when they're flirting in classrooms, it just seems like when when like 2 sexy young teachers are like sort of like flirting,
bantering.
It should be in the staff room
in the back row.
Yeah. They
should be in the staff room. Should be the staff room whilst they're verbally banging. Yeah.
Also, right. One more thing I have to get on my chest.
Go on.
Right. Flash Thompson.
Can't even remember what he looks like.
Exactly. Although I do remember Googling, when I was on the Wikipedia page, clicked on his name. Apparently that guy once proposed to Paris Hilton.
And she said no, I'm guessing.
I think they might have been engaged for a bit.
Okay.
But anywho, the bit where, because they sort of hint at like the Flash Thompson redemption arc. Because obviously he starts off as a bully, ends up being a close friend of Peter Parker's, right? Over the course of the comics. So when Uncle Ben dies, Flash sort of comforts him a bit.
He does, yeah.
But how he does this is by going, "Hey Parker!" And then like Peter's like, "Oh, not now, Flash!" and sort of goes to attack him. He's like,
"Yeah,
well, man, you lost your uncle. That sucks. I'm really sorry." But it's like if you like, "Oh fuck, that guy lost his uncle. I've been too harsh on him."
Yeah.
Don't just like shout his name from the hall.
Exactly how you shout his name when you attempt to beat him.
Yeah, just go up to him and be like, well, hey mate, sorry about everything before. Like, I'm really sorry to you about your uncle. Don't be like, yo, Buck! Like, it's just complete bollocks. But anyway, yeah, I reckon 1.5 Liz Lemon Apocalypses.
Yeah, and I'm going to go for also 1.5 Liz Lemon Apocalypses out of 5.
Cool.
For the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And then Amazing Spider-Man 2, what are we doing that out of 5? Maybe out of 5 Rooms of Foreshadowing.
Yeah, go on.
Either that or out of 5 Shady Men in Trench Coats. Visiting you in prison.
Yeah, Shady Men in Trench Coats.
Yep, cool.
Yeah. Or Paul Giamatti, Forehead Tattoos.
Oh man, what? I don't mind. You choose.
I'm gonna go with Shady Men in Trench Coats.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna give this 0.5.
Oh, that's so brutal, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I totally agree because
Yeah.
honestly, this is everything that is wrong with like these types of films.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking like comic book movies. I'm talking movies that are trying to start their own universe. I'm looking at you, the Universal Dark Universe.
Oh God.
Whatever that was called.
Dark Universe.
Yeah. It was called a Dark Universe.
It's just so like it's like, oh, what should we call this? Like it's like the first person to say something. That's what we're naming it.
We're Universal Studios Dark Universe. You're hired. 0.5 is about right. Yeah, it's basically everything that's wrong with that, and all the tropes are there of like the script was so bad.
It's even more tonally like mismatched or whatever in the first one.
Oh god, especially like here's the thing though, the fight with Electro and Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2, I thought was quite impressive. I thought it was quite good.
What, the final one or the first?
No. Yeah, the one where he comes out and he's like they're fighting in Times Square.
I think
that's visually impressive all over.
Yeah, I just think I was so already kind of checked out. I know it's very early on in the film, but it's a very long film, so like, it's already like a lot of. I just think I was already kind of like, I'm
already done with it.
Yeah, I was like,
it's so early on.
I just feel like everything they could do go wrong with Electro, they did.
Yeah,
and as I say, Electro, you can like, there's no one's. He's not really got a defining trait, personality-wise.
No, you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah, and what they did was like the
worst.
A comedy nerd,
who
has a horrific death, comes back to life in a really like way, and then is just really two-dimensional, like Spider-Man. He's like, he's just silly, and then
you forgot my birthday.
Yeah, and then like, I'm on the screen. Now Spider-Man's on the screen.
Such shit.
And then Harry Osborn's like, I'm going to die. I'll be your friend. He's like, a friend.
What is this?
We haven't even spoken about the fact that when he's on screen, there's like this music that sort of goes like, you laugh at me. It's like there's honestly like a voice in like the score.
in his head.
Yeah, but like it's part of the score.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's like the voice isn't Jamie Foxx's, and like I mean, even if it was Jamie Foxx's thoughts, there's no other time you can hear his thoughts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's just the worst.
Oh wow, I missed that.
Oh well, you missed out.
I missed out clearly.
Oh, and sorry, fucking right. So out of nowhere, right?
Cool.
And I always do this where we do amateur ratings, but it's like here's another thing. But you know,
you're not the only one, but it's fine.
Okay, cool.
I do it.
All right, nice one. Peter Parker. Harry's like, Spider-Man. That's always been a thing that's bugged me about Spider-Man. It's Peter Parker being like, yeah, I know Spider-Man. And then it's sort of like, these villains are targeting Aunt May to get to me, to get Spider-Man. Like, just don't stop telling people you know who Spider-Man is.
Just say you literally just take his picture.
Yeah.
I think we do, again, we said this for one of the other Spider-Man podcasts. It's just like, you can just say you don't know him.
Yeah. You
can just say, because not every photographer is just like best mates with all my subjects.
Yeah.
Best mates with all my clients. Do you know what I mean? Like, that would be mental.
Yeah.
And obviously it would get back to other celebrities if you were taking their picture. just taking their picture.
Yeah.
And you're like, actually, we're besties. So they'd be like,
You're a paparazzi,
this guy's on crack.
Yeah, you're a paparazzi, mate. You just hang out outside.
You hang out in bins outside nightclubs. I'm the one inside the nightclub. You're not my mate.
But
I need the money.
well, it's an upskirt. That would be dark if Peter Parker ended up upskirting. So right. And then, like, so Harry Osborn is like, yeah, we're best friends. Obviously, rekindled that friendship from when we were in primary school.
Over the last 2 days.
Yeah. So it's, he tells that story of like, my dad. I think he might say it to him actually. Was like, for my 13th birthday or whatever, you sent me like a bottle of scotch, and it was like, that's pretty cool, man.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. If I was in that boarding school with him, I'd be like, legend.
Yeah.
But he's like, can you ask Spider-Man to like give me like a vial of his blood, because I reckon I'll inject that and I'll be fine. And he's like, I don't know, man. And he's like, please. And then what he does is he turns up at Harry Osborn's office or house or whatever.
Yeah.
Like somehow sneaks in and like he lowers himself down from the ceiling on a web, and he's like, hey Harry. It's proper sort of like visiting a child at Great Ormond Street sort of vibe. It's that kind of like vibe. And he turns up and he's sort of like, oh yeah, really good to meet you. Like, oh, my pal Peter, you're my pal Harry. Harry doesn't recognise his voice, even though it's clear.
I know.
And then he goes like, yeah, I can't. It's dangerous, mate. I can't give you my blood. Nah, sorry, mate. But good luck.
Isn't it? It's such an awkward exchange.
Yeah, like genuinely, fuck Spider-Man. What a prick. And that is 0.5.
0.5.
Mysterious men in trench coats.
Yeah, I also give it 0.5. Mysterious men in trench coats who visit you at prison. Honestly, I just
looking forward to the Rhino spin-off.
Disney Plus 2028. Well, everything's coming into the MCU, so
yeah,
we're far from home. I mean, we're very close.
I tell you what, Sinister Six. I don't like the idea of Sinister Six film. Sounds like it's that sort of thing where I'm like, oh, it sounds rubbish, and then it's like, oh, James Gunn's directing. I'll be like, nice. But also, but here's the thing: like a Sinister Six film seems like a cash in. You tell me there's like a Sinister Six Disney Plus series about them like sharing a house. I'd be like, okay.
It's like it's basically Big Brother but with superpowers.
Why don't they do that? Like, not necessarily Sinister Six, but like something set in the MCU where, like, because MCU, like, everyone knows superpowers are a thing. And there's just like a load of superpowered, like supervillains, superheroes, and that just in like a Big Brother house.
I'm assuming because X-Men's been done already that's probably just what they'll do. Could you imagine? Everyone's absolutely hyped for like X-Men coming to the MCU, and it's just like a Big Brother spin-off where they're all like young. And they'll do like Young Mutants because kids.
Yeah.
And then they're just like, and it's gonna be
the sexy reality show.
Yeah, it's going to be a reality show with all your favourite characters.
It's going to be The Bachelor, where it's going to be The Bachelorette with Jean Grey.
Colossus, Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit,
Archangel, they're all competing.
Yeah, Jubilee, Frogo in there as well.
Yeah. Diversity is what Disney's all about.
Yeah, exactly, yeah, go on. One, obviously just one.
Yeah, just don't dare. Don't you dare suggest anyone else.
And also don't mention their sexuality because we can't ship it in China. So, this, probably. I'm excited to see Andrew Garfield in No Way Home because I think it's just going to blow people's minds, even though we know it's going to happen.
I mean, I think my mind will remain unblown.
You know what?
By
really?
Him turning up.
He's not going to turn up.
If he turns up, I'm not going to be like. I'm just going to be like, huh.
I think it'll be good.
I mean, I've nothing against Andrew Garfield. I just find it mad that he's
that they're bringing him in,
and also that Jamie Foxx is back as Electro. I know it's like different, but I feel like I can't imagine that's for any other reason than they were like, oh, Jamie Foxx is cool. It'd be cool to have Jamie Foxx.
This Far From Home doesn't have me like, oh, they had a cohesive story, and they've stuck to it, especially that I've just seen the news that they had reshoots planned that would make Spider-Man release after Doctor Strange, but they decided to change it
I see.
so that they didn't have to do that.
Oh, that's not a good sign.
No.
It'll probably be fine. But
It'll probably be fine.
that's really weird. Like Harry was saying, it's like I think Harry was a lot more offended than I was, I believe. But it's just weird that they're like making fun of Doc Ock in the trailer. Seems unnecessary. Also, I don't really get. It seems like a very convoluted way to bring in Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus. It's like you've already brought in J.K. Simmons as J. Jonah Jameson. Just bring in Alfred Molina.
I was going to say I don't think J. Jonah Jameson hasn't had to come through this magical Doctor Strange spell.
No, they
He's
give him a
just
different haircut. Yeah, they give him a different haircut. It's like a sort of, this one's a bit different.
Yeah,
it just seems a bit pointless, but like could be really good. But I know a lot of my friends are sort of blown away by like that first trailer, and I wasn't.
No,
no, and I mean, I was kind of sort of like at first I remember being like, oh, well, I'm glad they're getting rid of that whole sort of like he's been framed and everyone hates him. Because
honestly, mate, the fact that Spider-Man is being vilified for there's no evidence other than a confession, which is now proven to be like Mysterio was a villain.
Oh, do they know that?
I don't know, but like honestly, if I was Spider-Man, I'd be like, Nick Fury can attest to this, Maria Hill, and I helped save the universe.
Yeah.
Why do you believe this guy who's literally been here like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And then, he's being vilified by...
Oh, and he's got a whole team that could be used against him. Yeah. No, it's bollocks,
any one of them could go on TV. Doctor Strange doesn't need to do a spell.
No.
He just go on YouTube.
Yeah.
And be like, Peter Parker didn't kill this person.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
it's absolute bollocks.
And then it's just like, oh my God. Like,
and also he's a
the
teenager.
more you think about it, the more it falls apart.
Yeah.
A geezer with a YouTube video... is vilifying a teenager that saved the universe.
Yeah.
And they believe the YouTuber.
Yep. However, you know, when there was that brief period where it was like, oh, Sony and Disney, they're not working together anymore. And I think that's one of the time when I sort of started to get a bit sick of superhero films, actually, was remember sort of people arguing about whether it was like Disney at fault or Sony at fault. And I remember thinking, like, are we really picking sides over, like, sort of corporate conglomerates? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, which one's your fave? Sort of, fuck this. But anywho, I really liked the idea that the reason Tom Holland wasn't going to be in any more MCU films was because when he was, like, framed to that crime, he was just, like, torn apart by an angry mob.
Oh, God.
You know what's mental about Amazing Spider-Man 2, besides everything, is that MJ, Mary Jane, was originally supposed to be in it.
Yes.
And like they cut her from the film.
They did. It's played by
I can't remember. Shailene Woodley?
Shailene Woodley, yeah.
Yeah, from Fault in Our Stars and Pretty Little Lies, which I've not seen. It's supposed to be really good.
Can't believe they cut Mary Jane's part.
Yeah, but like here's the thing. What's mental is, so, you know, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Gwen dies at the end. He spends an entire year grieving, it seems, just at the tombstone constantly, then decides to be Spider-Man because an insane little child is like gonna die because he's like, I'm Spider-Man, and like Rhino's just like, I'm gonna kill you, small child. Look at my forehead tattoo. And then he turns up and it ends with him just gonna fight the new robot Rhino. And presumably he dies because that's why there wasn't a Amazing Spider-Man.
100%.
Yeah.
He chucks a manhole cover at Rhino.
Yeah.
You know, he's like swinging it, and it like freeze frames or cuts just before it hits or something.
Yeah.
What you don't see is Andrew Garfield Spider-Man getting impaled to fuck by the giant horn that he's got at the front. Why are you jumping towards the giant horn when he could then just score you with this goddamn horn? Yeah, I'm not expecting him to turn up in Far From Home. No Way Home, though. So.
It is. It just cuts. He just arrives, but he's
like
he's dead.
Oh Jesus!
That's how I want all MCU like post-credit, mid-credit scenes to end. Is just with them being gored by Paul Giamatto's Rhino.
He becomes the most formidable villain because he's just like, all I'm doing is just stabbing them. with a giant horn
while screaming in my Russian accent. But like, it's so fucked up that they were like, "Oh, Gren's gonna die at the end of this one. Introduce his next girlfriend."
Yeah. For the third, and then the fourth, and then the couple of spin-offs.
And then
the MJ spin-off we're going to.
Because she'll get power somehow.
Yeah. No, not even that. It's like in the Spider-Man video game, the PS4 one.
She's a journalist.
She is a journalist. And it's a meme where it's basically like, "Oh, I'm really enjoying this Spider-Man." And then it's like cuts, and it's like, "My MJ mission." But it's just like, because all you do in those is just fucking walk about, try not to get caught, and it's like, oh, it just breaks up the gameplay. It's so shit.
That's like the when Ang Lee released his Bizarre Hulk film. They released a sort of much more like sort of just sort of fan friendly like Incredible Hulk game. Which I remember loving at the time. But it was that thing of like, oh, there were stealth missions where you were Banner. And the whole time you're like, God, I hope I can Hulk out in them.
So yeah, this I'd rather just let this go and never see it again. Let it go down the river, like a Viking corpse, and never to be seen again.
Yeah, I'd like to, but then Andrew Garfield is going to be in. Not knocking Andrew Garfield,
no, not him personally.
Yeah, and I don't knock any of the actors in this. In terms of like, it's their fault.
Yeah,
you can't say it.
The writing, the studio meddling, like the direction's not great.
It's just not. There wasn't an idea here,
no,
other than let's keep making these Spider-Man films.
Yeah, and hence why we were given the unamazing Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, I was gonna say mediocre because that was my memory of it. Was that like, because I remember really liking it when it came out. Don't know why. I think I was just high on cinema. It was a big year, 2012. I had a good time. And then my defining memory of it is me and a friend got in a cab because like the last train had gone because we saw it in Stevenage, and we were like, and we ended up getting a cab like back, like pre-Uber or pre us using Uber, and the cab driver was like, "Oh, what have you been doing?" And they were like, "Oh, we went to see that Spider-Man film," and then we sort of talking about the Avengers or whatever. And he was like, "Oh, I really want to see the next like Hulk film that I really like Edward Norton." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, Mark, he's not in it." Like I had to sort of break the news to this man that Mark Ruffalo was now the Hulk, and that's like my defining memory of seeing it, which isn't a good sign.
And also, Mark Ruffalo much better than Edward Norton as the Hulk.
I like the lightness he brings to it. How bad is that bit with all the cranes?
Very.
It's a Liz Lemon apocalypse going down. We gotta help Spider-Man over here. Oh!
All of those cranes, mate. All of those cranes in New York can't fucking lift this movie.